Hi, it's Kevin Fleming from Grupo Mariana, developer of Playa Mariana in Nicaragua. And right now it's early morning. It's gonna be a fun day today. You're gonna follow this video because you like seeing all the behind the scenes action of what it takes to develop real estate in Nicaragua. Today I'm gonna make it fun. Today I packed up all my shirts and a change of clothes and a bathing suit. And I'm going to be going into the ocean today, and I'm going to be changing every time I talk to a local Nicaraguan, just to make it fun and interesting, because you've seen a lot of videos before, but right now it is May 2nd, and I want to give you a full and complete update of the last 4 months of construction, whether it's be things are on time, things are delayed, things that have worked out well, things that haven't worked out well. I promise you all the behind the scenes action of what it takes to develop real estate in Nicaragua. And so you're here with me in case you're watching this first video. I live in Granada, Nicaragua, but also my office. This is the office where I work. Okay, I work in this office. See, that's my office. And I live over here. And I think I've showed you this house before, so I won't show it to you again. Now, since you're watching this video and we have some time before I leave in a half hour, what does it take to go to the land? Well, this is what I pack up in my bag, just so you know, when I disappear for 16 hours, I guess. I don't usually get home till about 9, because it's a long day making all these videos and going around everywhere. So let me give you a bit of a look. I guess I could have done this a better way. So the important thing on the land is to stay hydrated. So I always have a cooler of water, and I usually stop at La Colonia and I'll pick up like 2 dozen waters, because I like to give out the waters on the land as I meet people along the way. You definitely have to, bring your bug spray, because there's a little bit of bugs out there. And a critical must, okay, definitely are baby wipes, because wherever you go, I'm always washing my hands. It's dusty on site, and it's just good to be able to wipe down and feel like you're clean the entire day. I usually have 2 pairs of glasses, because when I come back, I wear my glasses at night, and 2 pairs of sunglasses, one that I wear when I go in the ocean and one that I wear just when I'm going around the town. Now today's gonna be a fun day. I showed you I got all these shirts to wear today, and I've got all these hats that I've worn before. So we're gonna have fun today. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Now I always carry some little things like, the pocket knife, and there's always aspirins and a lighter. This is always really important. This thing hangs on my dash so I can take videos and look at the ways and not take my eye off the road. You cannot leave the house without a charger, and you always have to have 2 plugs, the extension one, the USB and USB-C, because different vehicles here have different extensions into the car. And quite frankly, the USB-C one is not a popular one when it comes to cables. Sorry, I thought someone was here. Now, what else am I taking? Well, I have my book, where I always make my notes on site so I know what to remember. I always carry some knife with me in case I have to cut something, okay? Not people, but just something else on land. I have money. We have to pay the workers. It's salary day today, so not all the time when I go is it payday, but today's payday, so I'm bringing it. And I've got a huge travel bag, and I always have some spray hand gel cleaner and some microfiber towels. Definitely a medical kit, all right? Definitely a small medical kit, business cards to hand out along the way, chapsticks, headphones, and that is the extent of my super beach trip and what I pack along the way. So I'm gonna be leaving soon. I've got my security badge with me, because nobody gets onto Playa Mariana now without a security badge. And we're no longer showing the property outside of the events as we're under construction. So keep following along with me today. We've been doing the master plan. You may have been watching some of our videos, and we have been developing and planning out and it's kind of bright, right over here in this corner right now is gonna be Laya Resort. And that Laya Resort is one of the hotels that are gonna be part of the whole master plan. There's gonna be 2 in total, and 2 different beach clubs on this master plan. So when you haven't seen it already, go to playamariana.com. Okay, it's just like it sounds. Or go down below in the description, click below in the links, click below in the description. You will see the links to what it is and all the upcoming events that you should and you're going to want to know about. Now today, today I still have to pack a cooler to go. They're doing some repairs on my house today, so I am going to be away while they do that. But this is a little bit about where I live. It's the kitchen, it's the dining area. There's one of the living rooms. It was laundry day yesterday. And now, in about 20 minutes, I'm going to be taking off to Playa Mariana. And then it's going to be a great day. So follow this video for more. I'm sure this is going to be one piece of many. This is where I work. If you don't know where I work, this is my workstation. This is what it takes to command what it is that I do. Fairly simple, right? So you don't have to work hard to get a lot done. You just have to work really smart. And I'm going to start packing up all this crap, okay, and get ready to go. So we'll see you soon, and keep following us for more. Now let me tell you about something else that we do when we go to the property, because today is all about going behind the scenes, right? So I always pack up this bag, and in this bag I'll just dump it out, and then we'll build it, okay, back together. I'll give you an example of what's here. So I always meet people along the way, and I always like to show people different things and to give out some treats. So there we have, I always bring one towel. This is our Grupo Mariana towel, all right, with our logo on it. So I bring one towel for people. I always leave with 4 of our hats. These are our Grupo Mariana hats. All right, so we give away some hats. We also give away, I find someone to give one of our water bottles to, all right? And the rest are some treats, okay? So obviously we got some of our Grupo Mariana brochures in case, you know, for business opportunities. Somebody is gonna be smoking some of our cigars. I remember where I look in this camera, okay? And someone's gonna get a treat, some local taste of some Flor de Caña, and another 7-year-old one. That one's my favorite. And our Playa Mariana, Grupo Mariana private label coffee. So all this stuff are basically, it's Halloween and Santa Claus all wrapped into one, because we give away all that stuff as we go on the road, to people that we meet along the way, workers that are doing a great job, just a little bit of something to say thank you. Again, you're watching this video because you're with me going behind the scenes. You're in my office here in Granada, in Nicaragua. I'll give you a little peek outside the window. You ready? Here we go. All right. That's time to go now. My car has arrived, and in typical Nicaraguan, Latin American fashion, so I don't want to say anything bad about Nicaragua because it's not that, but I'm about a half hour late, and that's okay. Look, I got all my crap with me, my bag. Remember I showed you all that stuff we're packing up? And I'm in Granada, Nicaragua, and this is what 8 o'clock in the morning looks like. Should we cross the road? Let's jaywalk. All right, those horses don't move too fast. And so it's now to get going. So today, normally what I do is I haven't bought a car here yet because I live in Granada and you can walk everywhere. But having said that, I do rent a car every time I go to the property, and I usually get a 4x4. Sometimes it's this Prado, sometimes it's a Hilux, but this is what Granada looks like every single day. It's a little noisy, there's a lot of culture, but we love it, and it's just an amazing place to live when you don't mind a little bit of noise. So let's get all packed up, let's get into the car. We're gonna go off to La Colonia, we're gonna go get some water, and then we'll pick up things from there. Everybody ready? It's time to go. Let's go to La Colonia. I'm a little bit late today, so follow me, and we're gonna go to La Colonia. We're gonna go get some water. We're gonna start with that, and I am driving hands-free right now, so you get to watch me drive all the way to Colonia, or maybe just a little bit all the way. We'll have to cut and splice this video maybe a little bit, but that's how Nicaragua is. It is now 8:15. I'm 45 minutes late, but that's how it goes. The car was a little bit delivered late, and I got into a conversation with a friend, and now we're on our way to the property, and we got a lot of stops to make today, that is for sure, to get in as much information as we can about what's going on at Playa Mariana. So you're continuing to watch all these videos because I'm bringing you the first-hand experience of the updates that are taking place on site. And being a real estate developer, my goal is to tell you almost everything that no real estate developer or agent maybe want you to know. Because I'm a big believer in due diligence and doing your research, the only way you can really do that effectively is to have the correct information. Now, since I've been doing this for 20 years through all kinds of economic cycles, good times and bad times, started construction, and stopping construction, having financing, losing financing, having hotels, losing hotel, starting golf course development, not building a golf course. We've been through a lot, okay? We've been through a lot. But we keep pressing forward. You keep finding the best way forward that you can for the times in the economy, whether it be after a financial crash, whether it be after a pandemic, whether it be before a defamation campaign or after demonstrations, whatever it is. The trick is you keep finding a way. And you may have watched a previous video of mine, which was during the One Country Away Challenge. That is hosted on Playa Mariana, Nicaragua YouTube channel. Now, we went 5 days live to teach you how to buy real estate and avoid the common mistakes that people make. And that was really important because having transferred over 100 titles and talked to well over 2,000 people individually, whether it be in person or on the phone, and maybe over 10,000 people through email, text messages, been to over 10 countries and presented Nicaragua and our vision of Mariana on over 100 stages worldwide. I can tell you that most people, if not all people, simply don't know what are the right questions to ask. And too much of the time, what you think might be the right questions are just simply like the top 6 or 7 steps of buying real estate. And it's more than that. It's more than that. Each step probably has 20 to 100 different things that you need to know. So just because someone says, get a lawyer. Yeah, okay, well, that's just the beginning of the story. Find a real estate agent. Okay, how do you do that? Check the title. Well, what type of title? There's all kinds of things that you just don't know how to ask. And so the purpose of this channel and everything that I do for you is to try and bring you this information so you have a clear understanding of what are the questions to ask. And that's just simply conducting good due diligence. And that's really, really important. So I've just arrived at La Colonia, so we're gonna go inside, go get some water, and I'll be back with you soon. Me now inside La Colonia. I just picked up my water and some cookies for everybody. And in Granada, this is the main shopping center. I've done a lot of videos on La Colonia, so I don't need to bother you with too many videos here. Just want to give you a quick glimpse before I go to the checkout and pay. Wow, this is somewhat heavy, pushing all this water with one hand, filming at the same time. But we're going to the project today, so keep following me. This is just one of the stops. The next stop will be El Crucero, where we're gonna stop by and get a coffee. And from the El Crucero point, it's gonna be an hour. So there's a pretty lady looking for me. Sorry, baby. Sorry, baby. I didn't mean to say that. I gotta go. See you later. Sometimes it feels like when you're trying to be in a hurry in Nicaragua, things don't always work out the way that you want. Now, while I finished what I wanted to get at Colonia, it's a good thing I happened to look at my gas tank because I noticed that I'm on a quarter tank. So I got an hour drive and there is a gas station out there, but when you're in Nicaragua, the gas stations aren't, I don't want to say plentiful because there's a lot of them, but when you're on the highway, you just never know. So I am gonna go fill up the tank right now so I don't have to worry about it, because I have almost run out of gas a few times in Nicaragua, and one time, which was an interesting story, I'll have to tell you about it another time. But what happened was I was at zero. I went all the way down to zero, and it turned out, well, you're gonna have to keep following for more to find out how that turned out, because it was something of a bit of a surprise what happens when your tank reaches zero. And what do you do next when you're on the highway in the middle of nowhere? You're with me now on the road to, where am I going? El Crucero. What did I say? El what? El Crucero. But I'm driving right now. You're looking. I'm in Granada right now. I just finished La Colonia. Just finished filling up with the gas. We got a bit of a late start. Can you believe it's 9 o'clock and I was supposed to leave at 7:30? And just as you know, an hour and a half can go by like just like that in time, even though I'm like moving around fast this morning. So take the scenic route out with me out of Granada. I got Waze in the background, so it's gonna pop in and out, giving me directions out, because while I've been in Granada for 6 months, I sometimes still get a little lost on the backside where I am right now. But an amazing 500-year-old colonial city. So I'm not sure where you're watching this video or the clip or in what platform or avenue, but Nicaragua is an amazing country. Now we're developing real estate, so when you're watching these videos, because you're behind the scenes with me, and my particular job in these videos is to show you around the country and give you a glimpse of a little bit of taste of what each and every location within the country has to offer. More specifically, of course, I'm biased because we're developing Playa Mariana, 8 kilometers south of Masachapa along the coastal highway, which is almost done. I mean, it was like paving last week, almost to the property. So I haven't been to Playa Mariana in a couple weeks because I want to see some progress on that road. I drove the whole road. I mean, it's all but 6 kilometers, 6.5 kilometers to be exact, from Masachapa at the beginning of the coastal highway all the way to the border. So you're in the car with me now, and we got the water, we're all filled up with gas, and we're pretty well set to go. So just follow me. I'm going to take you out of Granada so you can see a whole lot more. This is pretty familiar to me now, and I'm going to cruise around to the right. We're going to go a little bit straight, and then we're going to turn left. We're going to pass the cemetery, and then we're going to head towards Masatepe, onto the El Crucero, and then eventually down through San Rafael del Sur. We'll pass by, well, I guess we're going to skip by it, Masachapa and Pochimil, because with the coastal highway now, right at the beginning of Masachapa, there's no longer a need to go the, I guess what would be about 8 kilometers through to Masachapa, and then through Pochimil, and then on to Playa Mariana, another 8 kilometers. So the coastal highway, actually, now that I think about it for the first time, it really was that you probably have to drive 8 kilometers in Masachapa to get to Pochimil, which is like one big L. And then when you got to Pochimil, it was 8 kilometers on a dirt road. Now, it sounds maybe terrible, dirt road, but before the coastal highway has come to all the projects in the country, making it just an amazing opportunity. Sometimes you'd have to drive 25, 30 kilometers on the dirt road, and you wouldn't even be able to get there in a rainy season without a 4x4. And that was a real reality. So in our particular project, you could always make it to the property year-round, and it was only 8 kilometers on the dirt road. But you'd still need a 4x4 in the rainy season, or the wet season, or the green season, whatever you want to call it. All right, I like green season. Everybody thinks rainy season, and it rains all the time. But it really doesn't. It rains every, I won't even say every day, maybe every couple of days, maybe even every 3 days. It usually rains only at night, and only for like a half hour. And every once in a while, you'll get a heavier storm during the daytime, perhaps, and it'll come down real fast in the mornings, and then in the afternoons, there's no signs or trace of water at all in any way, shape, or form. So we are just outside of Granada right now, and I guess it depends. How much do you want to see of me versus how much you want to see of the road? So let's split the difference half and half. I have this phone hanging on the camera. I have the phone hanging off of a stand from the rear view mirror, so it's actually kind of funny. So there's going to be a lot of police on the road for sure, and I have Waze on, so every once in a while you're going to hear the Waze pop up, police ahead. And I learned my lesson quite a while ago not to forget to put on Waze and follow the traffic. So continue with me along this road, and I'll splice in and out with the pieces of where we're going, and you'll see we're about 30 kilometers to the El Crucero. The speed limit is still 50 kilometers an hour in Nicaragua as of May 2nd, but there is talk that the roads, they plan to increase the kilometers to 80 kilometers an hour, so that should speed up things quite a bit getting to and from to where we want to go. You're with me now just on the road outside of Granada on the way to the El Crucero, and right in the middle is Catarina, and we're going to be going left towards Masatepe, but we're going to pass by.
Exit on Nick 18 Dirección Niquino Homo.
We're going to find Catarina.
Multiple lanes merging ahead.
And also some areas where you can buy trees and coconut palms and plants and flowers, and you're going to see that on the side of the road. So I'm going to let this video play for a little bit. So just let it go and enjoy what you see along the side of the road, because we're heading towards Masatepe now through Catarina. Actually, Catarina was a little bit down that way.
19.7 kilometers to El Crucero.
But I know this way to Masatepe, we're going to pass by some stuff too. So I may have misspoken in which direction I'm going today and coming from. So that being said, let me correct myself. I was heading towards Catarina, and I think I may have passed it. Go funny how that is. I'm usually not the one driving. But for sure, we're on our way to Masatepe right now. And now, the interesting thing about Masatepe is this is one of the locations close by to the project, you might say, that you can come, stop in along the way, and talk to furniture manufacturers where you can bring your own designs and they will make it for you. And also, you can see the flowers on the side of the roads. Now I know where I am. Now I know where I am. We were here about a week ago checking out the cost of coconut trees and palms and other species that we're going to be planting. Because today's, I'm not sure when you're watching this video, but it's May the 2nd today. And the planting season really begins at the end of May, because that's when the rains come, and it's a good time to plant and let the roots take hold in where it is that you want to plant. Now, we're a little bit early for planting as much as we would like to, only because there's still a lot of dirt to move in the project in regards to carving the roads. And I guess that's one of the things that I thought I would be a little bit further ahead with the topography and where the roads are on the master plan. Now, you've seen the road down on the beach, but I'm really referring to the other 3.5 kilometers of internal roads, whereby the Cocoteros road within our project is going to be located, because that's a real significant feature of the development. So it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to buy and purchase the over 1,000 trees that I wanted to. So we're going to have to focus down below on the beachfront. Now today, on the way to the project, I'm really looking forward to seeing the progress over the last 3 weeks, because we've been putting the fence post and wire into the project along the beachfront to secure the beachfront as normal owners should do. And that project should be done. Hopefully it's done. And when that is done, that means that we can now begin to plant some coconut trees along the fence line and other species that can grow, because at Playa Mariana, we do have some setback conditions. And when you purchase a beachfront home site, and once you position your lot in the middle, essentially from the property line is 120 feet back, and from the road is 30 feet in, and the setbacks are about 10 feet wide. Now, how many of you have followed that map? The lot is 60 feet wide by 250 feet deep. So can you do the math? That's about a 4,000 square foot print for your build of your main principal residence. So still lots of space to build on a 1/3 acre beachfront home site at Playa Mariana that has title insurance from 2 different companies, is freehold title, and is part of a complete master horizontal property regime. So that's really important. You may have heard me talk about that in previous videos. It's too much to cover in this video, but really extremely important. So with that being said, this road from where I turned off at the rotunda, from Granada to that rotunda, this goes towards Masatepe, which is a small town, and in and around and aligned through this road is a ton of manufacturing locations for furniture. And at the end of the road, we're going to turn right, we're going to get onto the El Crucero, and you're going to see more of the amazing highways that are also outside of the country. Now, tell me what you think, or comment down below about the roads in Nicaragua, because all of my guests and clients, and I can attest to it personally, the roads are amazing in the country to get you to where you want to go, whether you're going south or whether you're going somewhere in the central or you're going to the north, and especially the coastal highway that's running. Now, I should be very clear about this. Let's talk about the coastal highway. In the past, I used to say that the coastal highway runs from the border to San Rafael del Sur and it's going up to Masachapa. And I guess technically I was right, but I was incorrect in this way. The coastal highway goes straight to San Juan del Sur, all right, from Masachapa. But from San Juan del Sur, it really branches in two directions to go further south. One, it'll go to the left on the old highway that'll take you to Peñas Blancas border. All right, that's where, if you want to cross into Costa Rica, that's where the road takes you. It's a regular road. It's pretty well exactly similar to what it is you're seeing right here in front of you now. It's this type of road, all right? Now, when you go the other way, all right, which is the oceanfront way, because the road to the border is not along the oceans. I guess it's closer to the lake, you might say, but you don't see any water. The road that you will follow from San Juan del Sur, which is the coastal highway, all right, that coastal highway road will go from San Juan del Sur all the way to the border, okay? But there's no crossing. There's just a military base at the end of that road, just past El Pochete. And before El Pochete, we checked out previous beaches in El Naranjo, and then you'll come down, and there's a whole bunch more beaches there, whether it's Playa Coco, Playa Yankee, Playa Hermosa, there's Ostianal, there's also where else do we visit? There's the Reserva La Flor Turtle Sanctuary, which was really, really interesting. And just before you get into San Juan del Sur, you'll pass Remanso, which is a very popular beach. So the Costa Highway cruises through all of those beach locations. Now, in a previous video, you'll have to see me as I go to each one of those beaches, and I tell you and show you a little bit of each one. But to give you the highlight, essentially from San Juan del Sur to the border, there's really only Remanso, is that right? No, Remanso's the other side. Excuse me. Remanso is on the other side of San Juan del Sur, going north. To the south, the key area and location there that I found was at Playa Hermosa. There was a great tribal surf location camp there, and a really deserted beach. And at Playa Yankee, I think it is. No, I'm mistaken. I'm driving. I'm trying to focus. Remanso is after Playa Hermosa, and that's where all the surf is and the action that's taking place in that location. So I apologize. I got mixed up. I tell you, I just remembered because before Playa Hermosa, I believe was Playa Yankee, or it might have been Playa Coco. I'm getting confused now. And I thought the next beach was Playa Hermosa. That was the plan. So then we got to the beach, and I was on the beach. I was making these videos. This is Playa Hermosa. It's amazing. Look at all the surf here. And the reality was I was in the wrong spot. I was actually at Remanso. I believe I'm saying that correctly. Remanso Beach. And that's where all the surfing was. So I had not been to Playa Hermosa. And what I did, so anyways, long story short, I went to Playa Hermosa the next day. But going back to the roads in the country, the Costa Highway branches from San Juan del Sur to the border along the coast, but not to the border where you cross. The border to where you cross goes to the Rivas area on the other side, the main road, and that will lead you to Peñas Blancas, and it's a road very similar to what we're driving on now. It's a very scenic road. So look for that other video of me at the border showing you what it's like and what you could come to expect crossing from Costa Rica into Nicaragua, because there's a lot to do at the border, but there's some very specific information you need to know. If you're following along on this trip, you saw us leave Granada to Catarina, and then we went through Masatepe, and now we're coming into San Marcos. San Marcos is a small town on the way to the El Crucero. Then of course we go down to San Rafael del Sur and make it to Playa Mariana. But here in San Marcos, I haven't actually stopped for anything
ahead.
here. But an interesting thing happened to me on the way back from my last trip a couple weeks ago that you should pay attention to. Now, the short story is I got stuck in traffic for an hour on the way back because they had this entire road was completely closed off because they had a horse festival, and I believe the right name is called Hipotepa. I'm probably getting it wrong, so in the comment section, correct me if it's hipotepa or hipoteca. I'll get it right in the text when I write the description. But in any case, this whole entire road was closed. And so what they had you do way down the road, and when we get there, I'll point out to more or less where I was. You see, they got a beautiful church in town. All these areas in Nicaragua have these colonial churches and a square close by. And that is generally how these towns start, right? Around the church. So this town is not long. It's maybe only like 3 or 4 kilometers long. So a couple blocks to the right is where they were diverting traffic. But it wasn't exactly a straight line on the back side. And the roads were really, really tight. And there was traffic coming both ways in what appeared to be almost like a one-way road, and police were guiding traffic. It was very interesting, to say the least. I haven't posted that video yet, but when I do, I will definitely share it with everybody. So I guess what I'm saying is, when you're visiting the country and you plan on driving through these small towns, you just may want to see what festivals are going on. So when you are actually driving, you're aware of where some of those roadblocks might be. And it was interesting because I was using Waze, but they had not mentioned a roadblock or diversion, which was really actually quite surprising, to say the least. But that said, San Marcos, we're like literally, we're just about out of San Marcos. So just that fast, we have driven through almost the entire town. And I think it's just another kilometer ahead. And you're gonna see, when I can remember, where it was where they were diverting traffic away from people going down this entire area. And let's just drive on. We are only about now 20 minutes to the El Crucero. That's pretty well our next stop. We'll go to the end of the highway and then it'll turn right. And we're gonna stop at that Super 7 gas station, you know, that where you see me stopping all the time. Oh yeah, I remember. It was right here. I think it was right here. No, it wasn't here. I think it's up ahead. Oh yes, it was up ahead. Okay, so right here to the right. Okay, I was coming from the other direction, but they made us turn right here that way, and we had to go like 3 or 4 blocks, and just the turn took a long time, and took maybe a half hour just to get up the road where we then turned right.
Turn right on Nick 18A.
We were just completely stuck.
In 4.3 kilometers. Exit right to El Crucero.
So there you go. 4.3 kilometers from San Marcos is going to be El Crucero, and that's where I'll pick up this this message and this trip next. You're with me now, coming to the end of the road where we're going to be turning right to the El Crucero, and the highway changes here considerably up ahead to 2 lanes wide and newly paved. And so from here, I think we're about 4 or 5...
10.7 kilometers to Dirección Nick 8, San Rafael del Sur.
About 6 kilometers to the Super 7, then about 4 kilometers after that, we will turn left and go down the windy road mountain to San Juan. I'm spending too much time in San Juan del Sur. To San Rafael del Sur. So right now, this is the road. This is El Crucero. It's basically higher up elevation. And the weather here, it could be really nice, it could be windy, it could be raining, but whatever the weather is up here, it's likely completely different down at the beach, which is the very interesting thing, because when you get to the Super 7, where we're going to go in and grab coffee and say hello to the folks there, it's windy, and you're going to see that. I'm going to show you a video on a piece of it that's really windy, but look how nice these roads are. All over Nicaragua, these are how the roads are. And the coastal highway is even nicer, so if you hadn't seen it yet, you're definitely going to see it in a few of the other videos that I have to show you. So keep following along on this trip. Okay, I'm going to take you right into the Super 7. You've been watching the road here in the El Crucero. Really nice, isn't it? You saw a glimpse and pieces of it as we go along. And right now up ahead, there is the Super 7 gas station. Oh, I think I've stopped in here like 30 times over the last 6 months. So I'm hoping Felix the guard is there, because I want to give him a hat. I brought an extra one with me today. So we're going to go into this gas station. It's the perfect stop, ATMs, coffee, bathrooms, gas. This is where you want to go. This is where you want to stop. They got some great pastries in there. I usually pick up a bunch of those and bring them to the people on the land. So this is the Super 7. Now I already filled up with gas at the other Super 7, so we are just gonna park and
Turn
go
left.
Enjoy a double espresso.
Then turn right on Nick 18A.
Yes, here we go.
Turn left.
We're here at the Super
Then turn
7.
left. Then turn left.
Side with me now at the Super 7. I just finished giving out 4 hats to the ladies here, and Santos and my other guard Felix is not here. But the Super 7, as you may have seen in other videos, shorts, or wherever you might have seen a clip, it's a great place to come get your groceries or some snacks. There's some ATMs, it's a washroom. It's the halfway point between Granada and San Rafael del Sur, and then on to Playa Mariana. In any case, I've got my coffee there. You've seen the outside, now you've seen the inside. I'm picking up 6 flautas de limon and 6 strudels de piña, and I give out all these pastries along the way, along with the cookies that you saw me buy already also. So this is going to be a really fun day. It's about 10:20 now in the morning. This day started really early, as you know, and we're a little bit late, as you also know, but when you stop here and there, it's really great because there's a story behind every corner. It's time to continue this ride
Stay to the left to Dirección
San
Nick
Rafael
San
del
Rafael
Sur. Now, when you leave El Crucero, you got to be careful on this 2-lane highway, because as soon as you come over a rise, you have to be on the right-hand lane. But then you turn left right away. So easy to miss it. In fact, a while back, one of my drivers, associates, people helping me out and with me during the day, we missed the turn. And it's not the worst thing. You can just go and turn around.
Continue
But
straight for 20.3 kilometers.
from the El Crucero, you're turning left, and now we're going down basically the mountain road from El Crucero, and it'll lead out into San Rafael del Sur. It's a little bit windy for about 15 minutes, but in about 23 or 24 minutes, we'll be down in the San Rafael del Sur area. It's a really beautiful scenic drive. You catch some glimpses of the ocean in the background, because when you look down, you're looking out at the Pacific on the horizon. So I am going to sign off right now. I'll show you some clips of the road as we go down the hill, but to be safe, I'm going to focus on the road in this part of the trip. So we'll catch up with you at the bottom of the hill. With me now just outside San Rafael del Sur, and this particular point may not seem all that great to you, it may not seem important, but there's something very special about this location, which is about 5 minutes outside San Rafael del Sur, and that is this location right here. I don't want to get by a car, but I'll show you. Let me go back. So when you're driving from, let's call it El Crucero to San Rafael del Sur, there's this little spot just before you come to the town. You might recognize it, you could easily pass it, but there is a story. There's a story behind this business, and that was about 5 months ago. I stopped in here because I wanted to buy some water and just generally talking to people. And I met the lady that owns this particular location. Her name was Mirna. And so I started talking to her because I was really interested in her life in Nicaragua, how long she's been working in the store, that she owned the particular property. I won't go through all those details now, but I'll give you the sense that she's about 75 years old. She works here from 6 in the morning to about 7 o'clock at night. And in a good day, they might make $30. And she's been here 70 years. 70 years in this one location. So I just wanted to bring that to you. So if you're coming from that way, up from El Crucero, and you're coming down to San Rafael del Sur, stop by and say hello to Mirna. I came by to give her a present, one of our towels, the Mariana towels. As you know, I'm on my gift giving day today, and Mirna, she's always been very happy to help me. I've stopped here a few times, and I keep stopping by trying to bring her a little bit of something and at least buy something. So I just bought my electrolytes for the day, so I can definitely use those. But come on by, stop by La Little Tienda aquí. Mirna is who's in there, and she'll be glad to help you out. We are almost at the beginning of San Rafael del Sur. you'll know it because you're going to see the sign that says, "Welcome to San Rafael del Sur." But wasn't that great meeting Mirna back there at the store? It always feels good to reconnect and give a little bit back into the community. Even if it was just a little towel, it was kind of funny. She opened it up and she was modeling it like she was coming out of the shower to wrap it around her body because it's this big bath towel with the Grupo Mariana logo. So this is the outskirts of San Rafael del Sur, and you're going to see it in just a second, and I'll clip to that right away. Welcome to San Rafael del Sur. This is your home city, should we call it that, because it is only 20 kilometers from Playa Mariana. Now, the significance of San Rafael del Sur cannot be underestimated because you want to have a town that's close by to you where you can get all the services and amenities that you're used to, let's say, in a big city. So, for example, I'm staying in San Rafael del Sur right now for a couple of weeks exploring the area. And the town of San Rafael del Sur has a lot of stuff. But nobody really lives in the town per se when it comes to a real estate development project. I mean, there's some small stuff, but it's not big. It's just a town. All the real estate is outside of town, all right? That's where all of the real estate action is taking place. So you want to be able to go somewhere to get your services, right? And so when you're in and around the area of San Rafael del Sur, it would be Tola or San Rafael del Sur proper. Now, at Playa Mariana, okay, in this undiscovered virgin zone at the end of the Costa Highway, we are significantly blessed with 3 towns, all right? And let me tell you about them while we drive through San Rafael del Sur, because I think it's going to be a while. So, you remember when I got off in another video? I got off at this exact spot, and I was looking for one of those bicycle taxis, and I couldn't find it. So, in case you're watching this video for the first time, I was trying to hail one of those bicycle taxis that you see in front of you right now. And I was walking on the street, raising my hand like, "Hola, hola," you know, like trying to catch a cab. The bicycle taxi, I suppose. And nobody would stop for me. They would just wave back. And I was like, oh man, this is getting a little bit embarrassing. I'm in Nicaragua and I can't even get a bicycle taxi to stop for me. Well, it wasn't until I walked probably a kilometer down the town when you watched that video when I was here last. And I finally got one. But it wasn't until like a couple of weeks later, more specifically at our groundbreaking discovery event in March, that I found out the international signal for in Nicaragua to hail one of those cabs is you take your hand at about waist high. Okay, remember it's waist high, and you kind of go like this, but it's lower, right? It's not up here, it's lower, but this is the movement, and that's the movement to get one of those bicycle taxis to come to you. So San Rafael is the town where you have markets, fruit markets, clothing markets, hardware stores, pharmacies, doctors, hospital. Just about everything you want and need is in this area of San Rafael del Sur. Now today, as I'm making this video, it's Saturday. You would think because it's the weekend, you'd be like, wow, this is really busy. But to be direct, it's always like this. It's just always like this in San Rafael del Sur. There's 75,000 people that live in and amongst this particular area. So there's no shortage of workers to come and work at Playa Mariana when the time comes. And as you can see, as I'm kind of going through the town carefully not to hit anybody, you get a good sense of what this town is about. And it's really, you know, there's one main drag, like the main street, right? It's the highway. It goes right through town and all the businesses are on the left and the right. And then it goes inland, like 4 or 5 blocks in both directions. And then some, depending upon which area you're at. And so this is where you come. And we were even looking at bicycles here the last time, and motorbikes, the prices of them. And there's just so much information to share with you. I can't share it all in one video. It's gonna have to be at some other time. But in this video, you're with me. You keep following along and watching the stops as we go along the way from Granada. We went through Catarina, and then we passed through Masatepe, and then we blew through San Marcos, and then El Crucero, and now we're in San Rafael del Sur. So you get a a really good sense of the culture and the experience that you'll have when you come into Nicaragua. There's no shortage of sights and sounds and experiences that you're going to happen. Now the municipality is coming up just here on the left. You can always tell where the municipality is because it's where the church is. The church is, you won't be able to see it because I'm driving, but to the left of me is the church and the main square. I took some great videos of that in another video that you're going to see, which is specific to San Rafael del Sur. But right now, whenever you're watching this video, we are, I would say, halfway through the main highway, and I'm going to keep filming here. So stay with me because I want to point out probably 2 or 3 kilometers down the road where the hospital is. So depending upon which way you're coming, all right, the town itself is like 5 or 6 kilometers long, this main highway. And you saw the signs when we came into town. It designated Masachapa 13 kilometers at the beginning. So when we get to the edge of town, it's really only another 4 kilometers from Masachapa to where the town begins, okay? And that's really important. It's really, really important. I'm gonna give you some space between this taxi and this, and the road here. So you're gonna know the hospital because it's in somewhat of a pink color, so you'll see it ahead. When you spot it, you'll know it when you see it. And there's no hurry in trying to pass people here on these roads because that just becomes dangerous. They don't want to do that, all right? Just take your time, enjoy the drive. Now the speed limit in Nicaragua, depending upon when you're watching this video or this clip, in case you missed it, it's 50 kilometers an hour. That's about how fast I am driving right now. And very shortly, they are talking about reverting back to the speed limit of 80 kilometers an hour, which will significantly increase the benefits of you getting to where you want to go in a shorter period of time, because it was getting long. It was getting long, and that's also important because the coastal highway that runs from Masachapa, where we're almost at, and all the way down to San Rafael del Sur is less than 100 kilometers, and you should be able to get there in an hour, in 10 hour and 20 minutes. And that's, I mean, think about it. Playa Mariana is located in a point where it's an hour to Managua and an hour to San Rafael del Sur. Like, how perfect is that? So we're coming up to the hospital right now. To your left, I'm going to turn the camera so you see it. All right, in that pink area, inside is where the hospital is. They have emergency care. It's a fairly new hospital inside the town. Now, I stopped and I went inside the hospital, and you'll be happy to hear that the emergency care services are free. There's no charge to locals, and there's no charge to foreigners when you want to go in. Well, actually, nobody wants to go into emergency. When you might have to go into the emergency area or see a doctor for general checkup, I would say, or a general emergency, a broken arm, something like that, it's not going to cost you anything. You don't have to worry about your health care. You probably have to have some ID, but nevertheless, they will treat you. All right. So that is San Rafael del Sur. We made it through the edge of town, and the next stop is going to be, you guessed it, Masachapa, and I'm going to ride with you from the beginning of the coastal highway in Masachapa all the way to Playa Mariana, and I'm going to give you an update on what we are doing, specifically some of the changes upcoming based upon the architectural meeting that I had yesterday and a month of thinking through the process and what it is that we're going to do next. So keep watching this video to the end, or the clip. Keep coming back for more, and you're going to become aware of everything that's happening at Playa Mariana, and then you're going to rapidly notice why you want to get involved as fast as you can and see the tremendous opportunities that are available in this country. And once you do, you're going to automatically realize our beach is the most attractive beach in the entire country for people who want to swim, quad, walk, bike. It is so long. It's like 20 kilometers long. You got to see it. So come back, keep watching for more. We've reached the end of the line where, coming from the El Crucero, passing San Rafael del Sur, and coming from Managua towards Masachapa, reach this T intersection right here. So it's left to San Rafael del Sur, right to Managua. And we're going to be going and taking a look at the coastal highways where we're going to ride down, providing you don't have anything closed off because they're paving the road. But I wanted to give you a sense where Masachapa starts, because in the next video, or as you keep watching, or wherever you're watching this clip, I gotta be careful not to get hit here. So that's the way to El Crucero. So the coastal highway in the country starts in Masachapa or ends. I suppose it depends on which way you're coming. But straight down that road about 2 kilometers is a huge rotunda, which you're gonna see, and then we're gonna go left. But the town is actually straight. And we've seen the towns in other videos, so I don't need to do it again. And we're gonna take the rotunda, and then we're gonna go left, and I'm gonna tell you about all the progress that is taking place at Playa Mariana that we're planning, and then you're gonna see it. So 6.5 kilometers of the coastal highway from Masachapa is what you're gonna see next. You're in Masachapa now, so follow me from the road at the T intersection all the way to Playa Mariana, and we'll just take it easy so you can enjoy the sights and see the culture and see the surroundings. I've been coming to Masachapa for 2 decades. We had a beach house here for almost 8 years, and that was really nice having a house so close to the project. But Masachapa is, it's a really a secret gem. And what's very interesting about Masachapa is that as I go around the country, whether I'm in San Rafael del Sur or in Managua, very few people have been to the beaches here in Masachapa and Pochimil. It is mainly used by only the people in and amongst the area. There are some people in Managua, of course, that this is the closest beach to get to, where you can just... Hi, welcome. You're in Masachapa right now, and we're starting on the coastal highway from Masachapa to Playa Mariana, which then continues on to San Juan del Sur. And it's in this area where you'll soon be able to access the entire coast in about an hour and 20 minutes, depending upon how far you're going up the road. But right now, when you're coming to Playa Mariana, you're either coming down the Managua route, where we get to that T intersection I showed you, or you're coming from the Granada area, more or less, and you're coming the back way, which takes twice as long. Okay, 2 hours versus 1 hour. But either way, when you get to Masachapa, this is the start of the coastal highway. So we're going to just keep driving on it and see how much they paid, because every week I come, it's a little bit more and more. And so I haven't been here in 2 weeks. I wanted to give them some time to really try and pave as much as they possibly can so we can see the progress. So we are 6.5 kilometers from that roundabout to the first of 3 entrances at Playa Mariana. So now I'm only going to speak about Playa Mariana. I've been telling you about Nicaragua and the certain places, but now in this part of the video, I want to just highlight Playa Mariana. Now we passed through San Rafael del Sur, but we skipped over, which is really close, Masachapa proper, which is like 2,500 people. And then there's also Pochimil. And Pochimil is another little beach town area. I think of Pochimil like a mini San Juan del Sur, but with no second row. Just a front row of restaurants and beaches. It reminds me a little bit like Romanzo, where people go to that beach, not to swim, that's for sure, but amazing surf, and they have about 4 or 5 restaurants along the beachfront, and the place is packed. Well, Pochimil, okay, the tourist area in Pochimil, is about 8-10 times the size of the area of Romanzo, and much more parking and much more restaurants, a much wider beach, and you can walk for kilometers and kilometers and rent ATVs and quads. So very similar to San Juan del Sur, and then there's Romanzo, or there's Playa Maderas, going in different directions. Here at Playa Mariana, we are 6.5 kilometers from Masachapa, a town of 2,500 people, and we're only about 4 kilometers from Pochimil, which is where this tourist town is located. So absolutely amazing. And you saw we passed by San Rafael del Sur, which is 75 kilometers. It's 75,000 people and 13 kilometers away. So that is the surrounding area of Playa Mariana. Now, as we get closer down this road, we're going to get to one of those huge rotundas that you see in all the pictures where the road is actually finished. And at this rotunda, when you turn right, okay, that would be the way going to Pochimil. And that Pochimil district is about 2 kilometers down the road. When you go left, that is the old still is. That's the public road currently that you would take or have had to take to go to Playa Mariana. Except it's dirt and it's a little bumpy, and it's 8 kilometers long, and it takes about 10 minutes to drive. All right, and it's through a bunch of sugarcane area, and that is primarily what is in this area is sugarcane, teak trees, cattle. That is the production in and amongst this coastal highway area right now. In Masachapa, as you've seen in previous videos, it's primarily a commercial fishing area. They have a nice beach, but nobody really goes swimming there. It's mostly fishing that's taking place. Everybody goes and hangs out and parties at Pochimil because it's only 2 kilometers away from Masachapa. So as you can see, the highway is not done, all right, but they're working everywhere that you can see. Now we're coming up straight ahead to one of those huge major rotundas. And take note of this, because when you come to Playa Mariana, one of the interesting features that we have in the project are a number of these rotundas to guide you through 3.5 kilometers of internal roads. And the roads within Playa Mariana are double lane wide, but you could say there's 4 lanes of road. And there's a meridian in the middle. It's a significant feature of the development, which you're going to come to know. Now, I haven't been in a while, so it's hard to tell what they've fixed and haven't. So this looks like they've paved the area here. This is great. This is absolutely wonderful. I should take some pictures right now. I might have to stop on the way back. Don't mind me as I click my camera right here. All right, so when we go through the rotunda, like we're going the second entrance out of it, we'll go straight. Now from here, we're only like 4 kilometers now to Playa Mariana, straight down this road. And it is pretty straight, and we'll see how far we can get. But as you can see, the road is, I don't want to say almost done, because I know they're trying to finish it by the end of May, but it's coming along. And I always get surprised when I come to the project because I don't know what I'm going to see. So we'll just drive down the road and you can just enjoy it. That's not the coastal highway. Now, what's happening in Playa Mariana? Since October, when the road started, primarily we were watching the road develop, okay? Now, because of the road, what had to take place was our master plan had to change to accommodate the road, of course, right? Because the road split our property. Now we have 1.8 kilometers of land on both sides of the highway as frontage. So we had to pick and choose where the entrances were going to be and essentially revise our master plan because, you know, the road just came through it, all right? So we had to look at that. Now, it took us a couple months to think through what we wanted to do, find out the information about the entrances, and some other details that I won't bore you with here that have to do with legal stuff and some of the things that have changed in Nicaragua for companies to update and basically be legal to operate, you might say. All right, I won't get into that in this video, but every single company in the country is going through this process. Now, once that was done, in late December, literally December 26th, we started construction to build out a pump house to cover one of 4 wells that we have on our property that we own and have permits to distribute water within the development, not sell it, but distribute it. So we started to do that, and we ran into a problem where the well had not been touched or really properly protected, which is my fault, for a decade while we were basically paused in development. So there was some sabotage that took place, junk and shoes and bottles and rocks. So it cost us almost $8,000 to suck all that stuff up and clear it out and get that well running like it should. And that well goes down 200 feet deep and produces 85 gallons of water per minute. And we have a pump on there now that sucks up 65 gallons of water per minute to fill up what will be one of 4 holding tanks, each 5,800 gallons of water, which is enough to service 50 homes at 100% capacity using 100 gallons of water per day, which really doesn't happen. But all of that to say, we have a lot of water. And 3 more wells that deliver up to 250 gallons of water per minute, 200 feet deep as well. So there's a lot of water at Playa Mariana. We own the land in which the wells are located, and we have all the permits and the rights for distribution of that water. Really, really important, because that's not always the case in other developments. So be sure you ask about the water. So we started construction on that in December, and that meant the pump house, and that meant digging trenches. And now next week, I'm not sure when you're watching this video, but I'll date it. It's May 2nd today, Saturday, May 2nd. And ideally, everything would be completed in the next 2 weeks with the tank and the pump and the pump house painted, and it'll look great. We'll see. We'll see. Now, outside of the water project, another huge project that we had was the development of the security of the property, because many of the fences within the property had deteriorated. There were animals on the property. It just wasn't looking clean. The rainy season just ended. for lack of a better word, it just looked like a disaster, abandoned. There was work to do. And so we were making roads. I think we have installed close to 500 posts, new posts in and around the property, and secured it with new barbed wire at the entrance, on the back, on the sides, down on the beach. And today, in fact, I'm looking forward to seeing the beachfront, because we just hopefully finished the entire beachfront. We're working 3 weeks on installing the poles down on the beach to secure that beachfront too, so nobody can come in on all of our borders. That was really important. Now, that was the fencing security project. And we also had another project. There was a road that was cleared many, many years ago, and a lot of it, the trees had grown back like junk stuff, and everything needed to be cleaned. And so we went on a how would you say it, a mission to clean the property, whether it be lots, the hotel areas, and also the beachfront road. And then once we did that, we were able to get in and see what was left to do. And then we went in on the topography. So now that the master plan was done, the road split the property, we had to redo the geodesic points in the property, so the master plan, when created and changed, would match up with the CAD plan. And then along with that, we invested in the topography of the property, meaning from the coastal highway all the way down to the beach, all of the contour lines of the 150 acres that are from the coastal highway all the way to the ocean. Now, we're coming up right now to the border of Playa Mariana, okay? And what I'm going to do is, before I go into the project, there's a ramp here, a temporary ramp. The MTE, the coastal highway folk, they haven't finished building all the ramps for the properties. But right here, this is where Playa Mariana officially starts, all right? So as I drive the property 1.8 kilometers, we're going to go to the end, because I want to see where the bridge is. In fact, maybe we can even cross it, and then we'll circle back, and then we'll go inside Playa Mariana. All right, so continue to watch this video, and we will find out a little bit more, okay? So here we go. Well, I'm here. I might as well just get out of the car and give you a bit of an explanation before we drive down the coastal highway. Where am I? That way, towards the bridge that goes to the Tecolapa River. Now, Playa Mariana is 923 acres, and the property is divided into 2 parcels, all right? And in the middle of this 923 acres, which is 3 kilometers from the ocean, which is right over there, all the way to the mountains that you see there, is 3 kilometers. And so more or less in the middle is a river. And that river is at the end of this road, and that's called the Tecolapa River. And the coastal highway has basically split the property on the ocean side of what it is that we own. So when I talk about the master planning and how we pick the entrances, you can imagine how in a future master plan, there was no road here. So there was all kinds of adjustments to make. And to some degree, we're still doing that, but none more important right now than the entrances, because they're getting ready to finish the road. And then, as you've seen or may not have seen, they actually have the road wide enough for a bicycle lane or a pedestrian lane. And then they put these big cement protective concrete structures on the highway outside of where the entrances are designated. So you want to be sure that if this is one of our entrances here, when they build the ramps over here, that's a temporary ramp over there, because we're like, hey, look, you put the highway through our property, we can't get down. We had to like climb down there at our discovery event. It was actually, I don't want to say funny, but we got dropped off right over there, okay, with the bus. And then, like, you can sort of see there's a ramp over there. That wasn't there when we came. That came like a week afterwards because I just had not put a ramp there in time. So these are temporary ramps. But it's how do you get down, right? So whether you're at another project or you're driving along the coastal highway that's completed, you'll notice there are ramps or spaces or openings. So the coastal highway people do that because it's concrete where they surface down at the bottom. They surface it all the way into the project. And so you can imagine you're not going straight downhill. So it goes into the property. So you got to plan out for that stuff. You got to think about it. So that's Playa Mariana over there. We're not going to go there right now because what I want to do is I want to drive down the road all the way to the end, 1.8 kilometers, and give you a look at what's happening down on that side. And then when we come back, we'll go right into this entrance and likely drive, I don't know, we'll see what I feel like doing. Okay, let's go again. We're back still on the coastal highway. I'm going to go slowly because there's really no hurry right now. So wherever you look to the right, this is Playa Mariana, all right? It's 2 kilometers of coastline that way, and then it is a whole lot more land on the other side of the highway as well. And so with the highway coming through the property, one of the things that are very important in all of our planning processes is going to be security along this fence line, because there's not many projects in the country. In fact, I don't know any project in the country, per se, from a real estate standpoint of view, that is almost 2 kilometers of frontage along the coastal highway. That's on one side. And now we also own the land on the other side, all the way to the mountains, all right? So for round numbers, we have like 3.5 to 4 kilometers of frontage to secure. So a blessing and a curse at the same time. Of course, I'll take the blessing, right? Now, as we go along this road, we've had this property for 2 decades. And so the master plan that you see now that's promoted online, it's just a sliver. It's 150 acres out of 923, because with the road now going through the land, it makes the most sense just to focus on the oceanfront side. The backside may end up being more for agricultural or real estate development. One never knows. And there are some other lands throughout the years that we have sold and doesn't belong to us anymore, but it still kind of fits within the master plan, but it's probably not something that certainly I'm not going to develop, and probably won't be developed anytime soon by anybody else, because there are certain factors that make it challenging, such as financing, to bring a big development to fruition. So it looks like they have the bridge sort of close up. Let's just keep driving because the trucks go in and out. So let's see if we can get to the other side of the highway, because I've done that already before. I know you can drive down there. And then we'll come back up and we can get some pictures of the bridge and some videos of what's going on, because they're probably getting pretty close to paving it. I know they put the beams across. That was there a month ago during our discovery event. So you're seeing right now what I'm seeing for the first time in 3 weeks. So we're going to go down this way. All right. So you can see the bridge there, right? The bridge is done. Looks like it's basically a one-way zone down here. So let's cruise down here. I'm going to focus on the road for a second. This is the Ticolapa River that right to the right, okay, you'll see that's the bridge over the Ticolapa River. They kind of dammed it over here, and that river leads out to the ocean. Now, this is an interesting part to understand about rivers, is that in the rainy season, what happens is, it's a bit of a, I don't want to say a good or bad thing, but just a reality is when the rains come, it tends to start to wash a lot of the garbage that might be in the river down onto the beach. And that doesn't always look great, and takes a while to be cleaned up in the case that no one is taking a proactive position and cleaning up the garbage. Now, that being said, I've been here 20 years and I've not seen garbage flow down from the river at all in any way, shape, or form to line garbage along the beachfront. So lucky us, but not so lucky for some other places in and around the neighborhood. So I'm not going to continue on here. I'm going to turn around, but you can see the road continues, all right? And where this road continues is the direction of San Juan del Sur, all right? And then as you saw in some other videos or stories or wherever you're watching this video, it goes on to the border, not the border where you cross, all right? But it goes on to the border where it's the end of the coastal highway, passing the projects like Coco, Yankee, Hermosa, Remanso, El Pochote, El Naranjo, the Flor, the Reserva de Flor, that area, right? So the highway goes down that way. Now, and then comes up here. But the closest towns that way, okay, behind me now, I'm heading towards Playa Mariana. That's Casares, that's Juguete, that's Boquete. And they're about 10, 12 kilometers down the coastline. I don't know the exact kilometers along the coastal highway yet, but I will as soon as you can drive down there from here. And you probably, I mean, to be direct, you probably could. I don't know, but it's not my mission today to drive to Casares and Boquete. So you're stuck with me here. Now, we're going to cross the bridge and we'll be on Playa Mariana proper, and then I'll continue where I left off. In the meantime, well, I guess I can just continue where I left off right now. It looks like it's going to be a slow roll here. So I was talking about the projects, the water project. Okay, which project? The water project. And then we started next on the security, right? The security of the land with all the new fencing to over 3 kilometers of new fencing and posts. That's 3,000 meters of fencing and barbed wire. When you think about the barbed wire, 3 rows, it's like 10,000 meters of barbed wire and staples and posts. A lot of work, all right? Now, what I'm gonna do is, I think I'm gonna stop here and take some pictures, all right? So you're just gonna have to bear with me. I'll come back to you in 1 second. Hi, it's Kevin. You're with me right now at Playa Mariana. We just finished driving down the coastal highway 1.8 kilometers from our border to the Tecalapa River behind us. And the road's not yet paved, all right? So to date this video, I'm not sure when you're watching it. It's May the 2nd today, and it's Saturday about 12:20. And I'm here on site doing a full inspection to see what's going on, because I do that every single 2 weeks. Now, the bridge, the beams are across, so you can drive across, and I suspect you can drive all the way to Casares, Boquita, Juguete. Those are towns 10 to 12 kilometers, you know, behind me that way when you cross the river. Or when you go back from Playa Mariana, you'll reach Masachapa in 6.5 kilometers, and then 4 kilometers after that, you get the San Rafael del Sur. So we're kind of in the zone where, from a circular nature, within 15 kilometers, you have 4 towns and then Masachapa and Pochimil. So 6 real designated areas for services, beaches, locations where you can go and visit. And when the coastal highway is complete and the speed limit is increased from currently 50 kilometers an hour to 80 kilometers an hour, you should be able to get down to San Juan del Sur in about an hour and 15. We don't yet know what they're going to do with the road through the Chococentro Reserve. Right now, when you look at any map or any construction, the road goes from Masachapa, Playa Mariana, where we are right now in the Pacific Passage region, all the way down to the reserve. And then it comes up from the border, not the border where you cross, the border where there's a military checkpoint is where the coastal highway goes to, and then flows up to San Juan del Sur. Then from San Juan del Sur, it comes up and passes the projects you're familiar with, like Rancho Santana and Iguana Beach and Guacalito, and then all the other beaches along the way until it reaches the reserve. Okay, so you have 2 ends of the road meeting this reserve that's in the middle, and it's huge. And it's maybe only 6 kilometers to go through the reserve, but there's no real direction right now whether they're going through the reserve or they're going to go around it. And so there's issues around that. So as soon as I find out, I'll be sure to share that with you. But you've been following along with the progress, right? So this is a continuation of whatever part of the video you're seeing. So we're talking about the water project that started at the end of December, meaning December 26, in activating the well that was already drilled on site and building a pump house. You may have seen some of those images. We're definitely going to see them later today and see what's going on. We're expecting the water tanks to arrive next week. So hopefully that whole entire water project is finished by the end of next week. I was talking previously about how we just finished doing the topography on 150 acres with all the contour lines. We invested to know what all that was. We knew it already, but we needed to redo the topography so it matched the coastal highway, it matched our AutoCAD plan, it matched the curves within the project, so future development and the construction of stuff, the architect would know how to utilize the land. And also for the civil engineering as well. There was a lot of dirt that was moved in the construction of this coastal highway. Now, you've seen some of the pictures, but what you need to understand about this highway, and I didn't really know, is you see it raised above land. So there was the fence line, which we're going to drive. You're going to see it soon, okay? Now, when we drive through the line, you're going to see it flat. But right now, the highway is some 10, 12 feet higher, okay, than the original land. There's the highway, okay, and then on both sides of the highway, we own land. So as we've been driving, and as you will see, we own 1.8 kilometers of frontage on both sides of the property. And it's elevated up like 10 feet. Now, this is a challenge where I tell you what's going on, right? Good, bad, and different. So behind the scenes. So there's a real importance about that. Because when the highway came through our plan, we had to start working on the master plan, which took some time. And it took some time to really identify exactly where the highway was and the coordinates and the topography of the highway. We had to do all that. They didn't just give it to us. And so with the highway now going through the property with a master plan, it's not like some other projects where you may only have a blip of time, like 100 meters maybe, to carve out a path, okay, to wherever your project is going to be. Because MTE, the Ministry of Transportation in Nicaragua, they already have designated points along the entire coastal highway where the ramps are going to be created from the top of the highway down into the access to land that's on either side of the road, because they just can't cut you off from accessing your land. So when you want to move that or change that, you need to be ahead of the process. But to be ahead of the process, that means your master plan needs to be completed so you know where the entrances are, and then be able to communicate that with the site supervisor and the engineers and the government, so you kind of get your entrance where you want it, right? Because if you don't get your entrance where you want it, you might have to shift the master plan and the entrances to basically allow for that. Now, we've done that, and they've built a temporary ramp. I've showed you some of the pictures and the images of that. I don't believe that's the final ramp. We're marking off in the project right now, this week, where the entrances are that are now geodesically located. I don't think that's the word. Geodesic points are located. So when the ramp people come to build, we are in coordination with them to build it in the right spot. The only thing we really don't know right now is, I mentioned that most people's entrances off the coastal highway is all about 100 meters, maybe even less in some spots. But we have 1.8 kilometers, which is 1,800 meters. So think of it, if we had 18 different owners who all wanted their own entrance on both sides of the highway, that would be like 36 ramps that you would have to build along 1.8 kilometers of highway to be able to give access to landowners who had lots off of the highway, right? Does that make sense? Now, of course, we don't need 36 entrances. We want or 6, all right? And 6 entrances located in specific spots on both sides. Okay, so people who are on the ocean side of our property can cross over to the other side, and vice versa. Now, that takes a little bit of coordination. So we've been working on that. So master plan, the water, the coordination of the coastal highway points and the ramps, and as well as we've been working on the fencing and the security and the perimeter of the project, replacing old poles with new poles, old barbed wire with new barbed wire, kicking out cows that shouldn't be there, making sure our borders are secure all around the property. That's why you see new poles and new fencing, all very important. Time consuming, costly, but has to be done. So this was effectively the most important things for us to do, which is get water activated, the master plan done, the entrances located, the ramps in the right spot, and secure our borders. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me. So we're not yet under construction per se, coming out of the ground, because all these preliminary stuff needs to be done. Now, while we've been doing all of this stuff, we have been designing in behind the background with our condominiums and our bungalows and positioning how things are going to be. And I'm going to tell you about that. Should I tell you about that in another video? No, I'll keep going. I'm right here. It's actually pretty relaxed right now. So what's happening right now is along our beachfront of 2 kilometers, and I've mentioned it before, but in case you're just watching this for the first time, our beachfront, the 1.2 kilometers of our beachfront is what you can actually develop land on. The other part of the beachfront has the river, and the river kind of flows in front of the land, and it creates an environmentally protective area. And we've known that for 20 years, so you can't develop any property there. Now, over the years and through different circumstances and markets, we've sold all that land, all right? So we don't actually own that land anymore. So we couldn't develop on it even if we wanted to. And when you look at our master plan today, it's only 150 acres out of the total property of 923, because that's where we're focusing on. So we don't want to distract your attention with more stuff that'll happen into the future, but focus your attention on the phasing strategy of what's along the coastal highway now that it's here along the ocean side of the project. It makes sense to me. And the key features to understand is this. Now it's hot. It's like 34 degrees here now at the beach. Again, I'm not sure if I told you the date, but it's May 2nd today and Saturday. It's 12:30 in the afternoon. It's hot outside. So what's going to happen is down on the corner of our beachfront, which we're going to drive to next. So wherever you're watching this video, perhaps afterwards, or maybe if I clip it together, we're going to drive the highway and they're going to go into the entrance and almost all the way down to the beach. And in this area, you may have seen it in previous videos. There's a white house there. It's our neighbor's house. And on the right side, we're developing our beach club and condos, which will be open to the public. It's private, but you can come there and use it as a day pass, all right? That's kind of like the public area, so we're not disallowing anybody from entering the property. You can come there, you can pay, you can use, because it's an amazing beach. And then on the other side of that is our Laya Boutique Hotel. We call it Laya Resort, but it's basically a boutique hotel with 7 to 10 bungalows, very light structures, no kitchens in the units, and it's higher end AC. I mean, it's a luxury boutique beachfront bungalows, okay, directly fronting the ocean. You're going to see those come out of the ground very, very soon. A restaurant, the bungalows, and the pool to get started. There's other amenities like a spa and yoga platform, gym, which are small structures to fit in this area. So both areas, the beachfront condos and the beachfront, are about 2 acres, and the bungalow hotel area is about 2 acres, all right? So that's what you're going to see in the corner. Now, in the next 3 or 4 months, I've hinted at it, I have mentioned it, but there's a letter of intent in place for an international hotel to come to Playa Mariana. And the agreements now are being worked on to come to the point in which I can make a super big announcement of I don't want to say boutique, but call it 100 to 150 room hotel that could be built and expand over time. Because you don't want to build 150 rooms and only have 30 of them used, and the other 120 are changing bed sheets every 2 days so they don't get moldy and smelly. So it has room to grow on 10 acres of land. We will start at the beach and work our way back, but we'll build it as quickly as the demand for rooms are met. But the hotel is going to be a condo hotel. You'll be able to purchase beachfront residential units within the hotel complex and take part of the cash flow in the program and utilizing the units inside the hotel. So it's going to be great. So stay tuned for more. I don't want to share too much details now, but you're going to get a lot out of that when the time comes. And then that is the core focus. And then, so we have our entrance, which you're going to see very shortly, which is one of 3, but we're going to use the temporary service entrance now and make it a real nice entrance. And then you'll drive down the main road and you'll get to the top of the slope. Now, I say top of the slope. What does that mean? It means that in our project, in the case you're just watching this for the first time, there's really 2 levels of the project. There's the beachfront level, and there's a slope 20 meters above the beachfront area, all right? And what happens is between this area, it goes down a 45-degree angle, more or less. Some areas it's kind of like this, other areas it's like that. This is like the slope is something that needs to be worked on in the civil engineering. But nevertheless, there's 2 levels. So here at Playa Mariana, you have 2 kilometers of straight beachfront access, pure freehold title beachfront. And then above that, you have a shelf, okay, that overlooks all of that to the ocean. All right, so anything built on the top shelf, you might say is already 6 stories above sea level. Okay, think about that for a second. So when you build a house here, you already have an immediate ocean view. And on the second story of any house, you're basically the equivalent of 7 stories above sea level. You have this massive, massive ocean view. And you're going to see that very shortly, okay, if you had not already seen it. So it's an incredible blessing. Like, this is the most, this is the most valuable property in the entire country of Nicaragua. The absolute pristine beach you're ever going to see. And we have this unique structure of the land in which gives us a canvas to create something absolutely amazing. Now, one core feature that you need to know and understand is when we're developing property here at Playa Mariana, everything must have an ocean view. There will never be a unit that within your unit you do not see the ocean. If you can't see the ocean, then there's just no unit for sale. All right, so there's no second row, there's no third row. Well, there might be, but you're gonna have an ocean view, a clear ocean view. All right, you're not gonna be like back to back and somebody's blocking you. Okay, so we're utilizing our land to provide the best opportunity to give you, the viewer, the owner, the purchaser of real estate here at Playa Mariana, the absolute spectacular view. So when you think of views like at Rancho Santana or at Romanzo or any other views that are up on a cliff, that's what we have here, except you can walk to the beach. Whereas every other project in the country, you can't walk to the beach, all right? Whether it's Rancho Santana or it's Romanzo, there's no beach. You can't walk, there's no beach. You got to drive down, you can't access the beach. Beautiful views, amazing location, right? But there's no beach, all right? And when you get to the beach, not all beaches are created equal. As you've seen, because I've visited all the projects, I've shown you exactly every single project, and I've shown you every single beach, so you know, right? Right? I'm talking to at least one person here, right? One person, you know that we have the best beach in the country. So we'll be launching, we have launched, soft launch, you might say, seeing how the market is. So there is the development side of the project, which is that in what I just described. The other side has been the sales and marketing side, and that's important. So let's talk about that for a second as well. This is your update, in the car update. Hopefully you're not getting too much feedback because of the car running. It's hot out there. All right, so on the marketing side, what have you been seeing? All right, so since, let's say December, when we started marketing again to bring the project and give it more awareness, you're seeing us across all the social media channels, whether it be TikTok or YouTube or LinkedIn, X, Facebook, okay, Pinterest. We are everywhere, okay? And I'm providing you behind the scenes access of what it is that we're doing and how to, and what's involved to develop 923 acres of real estate in Nicaragua, and of course, more specifically here at Playa Mariana, 8 kilometers south of Masachapa. That's important because while it's easy to get caught up on the emotions of buying real estate in the country, I really want you to understand the logical reasons why you want to buy it. Any property, period one, but certainly with us, because we're as transparent as it can be. And my whole core focus is to help you buy real estate overseas and avoid the common mistakes that people make. And being that I've been a real estate developer for 20 years now, developing land, going through different market cycles, I'm trying to tell you what no real estate developer will tell you, or may not even know, and certainly no real estate agent will tell you, and also may not even know. So when you follow Playa Mariana, when you've been watching what we've been doing, that's the flavor of why you're watching this channel. I'm here to educate you so you make a great decision, because I believe that no one project is for everybody, right? You might like surf. Like, we're not a surfing beach, right? But if you want beach and you want to swim and safe and no rip currents and no algae and no coral, no rocks, like, this is it. There's just no question. This is it here at Playa Mariana. Especially when you have all those surrounding towns that I talked about, right? Masachapa, Pochimil, San Rafael del Sur, Caceres, Boquete, Huete. Unlimited activity and people all around to get out and find services. You're not stranded in the middle of nowhere. All right, so with that understood, I said what? I'm here to educate you. All right, I'm here to do what? Educate you, that's right. So in January, that started with, and what you saw was our One Country Away challenge. That was 5 days in a row that I went live for an hour and a bit and I was teaching you how to buy real estate overseas, but not here's step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. I came at it a lot differently to give you a perspective to think about things in a way probably which you've never done before. I'll just say it. And all those replays are on YouTube, right? So that was January, and those are some of the clips. I'm not sure what you're watching right now, but wherever you're seeing this video, however you found me, you're probably seeing hundreds of clips, all right, from 6.5 hours of video that we're now getting out to try and educate people a little bit at a time. But I highly encourage you to go watch the links down below in the description, somewhere wherever you might be watching this video, and go watch the full video because you're going to learn a lot. And then in February 19th to the 23rd, we hosted our first groundbreaking discovery event in 2026 to welcome people in, to let the market know that there's construction going on, the road is going through the project, the master plan is changing, the well is operational, we're securing the borders of the land. I don't want to say getting started because I've been doing this for a while, but because the project was dormant, for lack of a better word, through the history of the development and Nicaragua's pandemics, demonstrations, and other things as well. It's just time to get back into business. So we were letting people know, hey, like, check it out, we're here, right? Playa Mariana's coming. There's something going on here right now. And we hosted some friends and some family and some existing clients and some potential clients for a small, intimate event. And that was wonderful. It worked out all the bugs, okay, of holding events, because we've done this before many a times. And that was February. And then in March, no, I got it backwards. Oh my gosh, I got it backwards. Excuse me. What I just described for you at that event, what happened in March 19th to the 23rd. What happened between January One Country Way Challenge and the March event I just described, all right? That was the launch of our real estate product, okay? We were introduced some condos into the marketplace and some beachfront home sites and properties that were being resold, because we've sold quite a bit of properties and transferred over 100 titles. And we wanted to see how the market would respond to properties for sale. And it was great, okay? We had lots of people, thousands of people registered for more information for the limited supply of product that we had. And then the event that I had previously mentioned was to support that launch. So from a marketing side, we've put ourselves out there because we had the One Country Way Challenge that was 6.5 hours of recordings. And then in the launch event, which was February 19th to the 22nd, February 22nd, 4 days. I went live from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 3.5 hours per day explaining to you about Nicaragua and the project. In fact, it was probably too long, too much information. And then I thought, hey, there's so much good information that I want to share. Sunday, I went live, I think from 5 o'clock to midnight, 7 hours, a live presentation for 7 hours, going through even more details. Now, of course, nobody was on the line, okay, from 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock, so nobody stayed that long, but I was on a roll, so I wanted to do it because there was a lot of information to share, and I still didn't get through all of it. That's a bit of a challenge, isn't it, right? You're a developer, and you want people to logically make a good decision to buy real estate. To do so, I would need 8 to 12 hours of your time to present all the information that would assure you that there's absolutely no risk buying property from Playa Mariana and from Kevin Fleming. Otherwise, you make an emotional decision in 5 minutes, you don't do your due diligence, you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you end up getting screwed. Okay? That happens all the time. Probably every single week across Latin America. Because why? It's emotional. You get down to the beach, it's really powerful, and you're going to see that in a second. So that's what we're doing marketing, and now moving forward, we'll repeat the process, okay? And we'll continue towards attracting more people to bring and show Playa Mariana to the world. And so right now we're waiting for the coastal highway to finish its paving. Now we want the road to be done, right? We want the road to be done. I want to finish the pump house and the construction of what we're doing. And we really want to get started on a restaurant, pool, and sample casita and tiny home on the beach. And all of this construction will be a little bit quiet behind the scenes. I won't be showing you as much as I have been because I've been trying to make you aware of what I'm doing. But in November, we're going to have another huge event, all right? We have some people coming down in May, some people in June, and we're always going to host people coming into the country. But a major event, like a restaurant opening, staying in one of our units, That's going to come in November, providing there's no surprises in the construction process. All right. So that's the update. Nicaragua's doing great. The highway's scheduled for completion. It's already opening and running in many of the areas around the country. There's a brand new airport to support 3 million visitors into the country per year. They're really putting in the structure. It's a safe country in regards to structure and coming into. It's well located in regards to flights and coming to the country. There's so much tourist activity in the country and sights to see, you can't possibly do it all. I'm sure you can't even keep up with all the videos of me giving you clips of all the things there is to do. So you're never going to run out of things to do in the country, which is that's really important. And lastly, there's a lot of foreign investment in the country. When you drive around Managua, Managapa, Hinontepe, Hinotega, wherever you go, you see new constructions, you see cranes, you see dump trucks, you see a lot of stuff taking place. The country is very active. So I'm not sure what you're reading or what you might know or what biases you have, but I suggest you throw it all out the window. There's nothing you're going to know for sure until you come down here and see it for yourself. And I know one thing absolutely for sure after 20 years, and that is when you don't pick up the phone to talk to someone or get on a Zoom call, like with a guy like me, to get the inside scoop in 30 minutes for free, hint, hint, that's a hint for go down below in the description and click the link to book a call with me. Or the second step is, what do you think the second step is? To come into country, right? To come to Nicaragua. Where are you going to come? To Nicaragua, that's right. So if you don't talk to someone, and if you don't come into the country, I hate to see it plainly, but you're just not going to do anything. You're just going to keep watching and dreaming and wishing that it was you that owned that beachfront property, or it was you that owned that beachfront condo, or it was you that owned that hotel investment property, or it was you that became a developer as a sub-developer within a larger development. You're just going to keep watching and missing out. And there's not too many more countries, right? I mean, Costa Rica, forget it. Panama, forget it. Mexico, forget it. Dominican Republic, forget it. All right, those are very, to some degree, Honduras and Roatan, these are very expensive countries to go to and buy real estate. Why? Because they're developed. Why? Because there's thousands of millions of people visiting these places every single year. But Nicaragua doesn't have that traffic. I mean, pay attention when you're in the airport, wherever you are, you may be watching this video. Look at the people standing in line. All right, check out the other boards. You may be walking only for your gate, but look at the gates and on the board. All right, and when you got 7 or 8 hours of time or 4-hour layover, this might be boring and kind of geeky. It's what I do, all right? I walk through the airport. I look at the gates to Panama, Costa Rica, Belize, Honduras, okay, Mexico, whether it's Cancun or Puerto Vallarta, and I walk to those gates and I look at the people, and then I kind of get a percentage of mine. 60% are tourists, 40% local. Or I walk to another gate in Panama and I might see 70% tourists and 30% local. I try to get a sense of who's traveling where, okay? Then you get to the gate for Nicaragua, it's probably 95% local and 5% tourist. And that's a huge, huge opportunity, because if you can just drive in just even 2 or 3% of all the other traffic from all the other places into the country, there probably wouldn't be enough rooms in the country today to fill those heads in the beds, as the industry saying goes. So I'm not going to tell you that, hey, come by Nicaragua. There's a shortage of hotel rooms and it's a great guaranteed investment. I don't do that. Maybe you want to listen to someone else who wants to guarantee stuff. That's not me. All right. But what I will tell is just think about it yourself logically. All right. When an airport only holds 1 million people and wants to go to 3 million people, and when the current occupancy rate in the country is 40 to 60% on average and 80 to 90% in the high seasons, where are you going to put 2 extra million people, or is there any more rooms? And that's where Playa Mariana comes in, right? With new hotels and other development opportunities that will come into the country in other projects as well. And just to plug Playa Mariana, when you're watching all the way to the end, or you fast forwarded, this is the part where I tell you we have 100 acres of land, and we're inviting sub-developers, contractors, builders, developers, come to Playa Mariana. Come talk to me. Go down below in the links. Look for the email. Reach out to me across any social media platform. DM me. There's plenty of opportunities within our project for you to come and build starting tomorrow. Think about that. How would you like to skip 3 and 4 years of time and be able to start construction as fast as you can design something, okay, and get the construction documents done? That is your only limitation. You don't have to worry about development permits. You don't have to worry about water. You don't have to worry about fault lines. You don't have to worry about geology. You don't have to worry about cultural findings and archaeological discoveries. You don't have to worry about beach access. You don't have to worry about views. You don't have to worry about location. I have that all covered for you. So I'm talking to at least one person right now. Look down below in the description. Look at the DMs. Reach out to me when you're ready to start building in Nicaragua for yourself, or you want to make money developing, or more importantly, you want to give back to the community, the jobs, and be part of something greater, bigger than yourselves. This is the place where you can find all that meaning and purpose here at Playa Mariana. So I'm going to sign off with that. So again, I'm Kevin Fleming for Grupo Mariana, developer here at Playa Mariana. Go down below in the links, check out what it is that we have to offer, and when you do, you're going to be glad you did. Okay, you're back with me. I'm going down the coastal highway right now. I got sidetracked. I had made a 30-minute video sitting in the car giving a full update. Now, I'm not going to go through it all again, so let's just drive down the road, and for me to say and just reiterate that the coastal highway is almost open. And I'm going to drive down this 1.8 kilometers to the service entrance that is there now, that will go down the temporary ramp that you might have seen. And notice as we drive the highway, the 1.8 kilometers, the Playa Mariana property, okay, ready for this? It's on both sides of the highway. Isn't that amazing? It's crazy. It's crazy. All of this land and all of that land over there. It's really, really quite incredible. And so we're working right now. I've been giving you the update now that we're here at Playa Mariana. And that was basically, I was talking about ramps, right? The importance of ramps. I'm not going to go through it all. But we're working with the construction company Mako on the ramps to get down into our property, because now that the road's going to be surfaced soon, they also have to build the ramps in. So we're getting close to the edge of the property. We're going to the left, all right? We're traveling north right now. Should we continue going straight, we would reach Masachapa, all right, which is 6.5 kilometers down this road. We drove it coming in, remember? And I'm going to turn left, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive, and I'm going to take you to the point first on the top of the slope. I explained how our property is 2 different levels. Now you're going to see it firsthand. It's so exciting. It's a bit cloudy. It's May 2nd today. I keep saying it's May 2nd. I'm trying to give you some date because I don't know what clip you're going to be watching when you watch this video. And it is 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's a little cloudy and hazy. So you may have seen in other pictures, the ocean looks like really this crystalline blue color, sometimes even emerald green on the right reflections. But we're going down now the ramp, and straight ahead, let me just snap a picture here. I'm doing this all live, so down, this is just temporary ramps that they built because they've been here a month. We had our event and we couldn't get down, so they came and built something for me because I was like, hey, I can't keep walking down this slope. So I'm driving right now down the, I guess you'd call this the service road of the coastal highway. This is what they use to move the materials up and down the road, and one of these roads are on both sides. So this particular entrance right here, they opened the gate for me. But when you come through here off of the road, you'll come in, and then there's a rotunda. You'll notice it on the master plan. And to the right is a tree line, which is the border of our land, all right? Now, when you come in on the left-hand side over here, all right, on the left-hand side is basically the service maintenance area, which is kind of like that way. And then on the plan, there's a number of lots. I think there's like 9 or 10 lots that are directly to the left, right here off this road. There's like, let's call them 8 lots for the purpose of this video. 8 lots right along that road that are 60 feet wide each by about 150 to 200 feet deep. And they have this amazing ocean view, as you can see. We're like, right now we're about 70 feet above sea level. So when you would build a house here and you get that amazing ocean view from the back, it's like you're 8 stories above sea level, all right? Now, what you can't see right now is there's a road from the master plan that comes in, and that is the main road where you turn left and will take you back to the main entrance. Now, after the rainy season, in November, we'll have that all carved out. So right now, just enjoy what's in front of you now. I'm gonna try and take you, all right, to more or less, okay, because we're at the top of the slope, the hotel area, all right? So I'm gonna stop right here and bouncing around, right? You guys are having fun with this? All right, so here we go. So right now, I mentioned how down below, and you're gonna see it in a second, down below is the corner where our beachfront hotel is. But the larger international hotel is 10 acres, and it starts from the top where I am right now, okay, 1,000 feet from a main road that goes along the master plan, and it goes to the edge, okay, of the slope right now. So I am going to stop. I'm going to stop the car. I'm going to get out, right? Hang on a second. I don't want to edit. I don't like editing. If you know anything about me now, you know that I don't like editing videos. So you get what you get. So let me show you. All right. So I'm here at Playa Mariana. So when you come in, we came in off of the highway. You see the highway straight ahead? It's right there. The highway to the beachfront behind me, where you look at the ocean right now, it's a half a kilometer, all right? And from the highway, it's approximately through 200 to 300 meters, all right? Halfway, there's a main boulevard, okay? That boulevard is 33 meters wide, like 100 feet. It's the double lane road. And the entrance is off of that road. So from where I'm standing, probably another 400 feet is the entrance. And so I would say all of this land, well, all this land, I say I lose it. Most of the land that you see right here in front of you, like this, is the hotel. This whole area that you see with dirt, the width of it, all right? This is all the hotel area, all right? It's massive. It's 10 acres in size. And the reception, the parking, and a lot of the amenities will be on the top, and also some real estate offerings. And then, because what needs to happen, you see all this dirt right here? Okay. The coastal highway people, when they dug out the road, they brought all that dirt here, right? So it raised the level of our land even higher than what it already was. Now, it's not compacted. You see, it's going to get, it's going to be very muddy when the rains come, but we're not doing anything this rainy season. But remember this video, because what'll be interesting is to see what grows, okay, through all this dirt once the rains come, because this country, once it rains, everything turns green and grows. It's really quite amazing. Down there, you see that White House? Okay, that's kind of where the hotel's going to be. On the right side of that house will be the beachfront condos, and on the left side of that house will be the bungalow hotel. And then over here, this beachfront here, this is the hotel beachfront. Okay, there's close to 136 meters of beach frontage for the hotel, all right? And then there's another development parcel, another 136 meters, all right, which is about 500 feet, all right? But here's the challenge, expensive. When the coastal highway people came, they hauled all that dirt. You may have seen it in some other previous videos. And as the dirt goes down the slope, it destroys all the trees. Now, the trees weren't anything special. Nothing here is super environmentally protected. In fact, nothing along the slope and no trees here are environmentally protected that you can't remove. We've already discovered that and have received the permits from NE4 to clear what it is that we need to do. And everything in this property has been marked and identified as it comes to green and landscaping. But you see, they pushed the dirt down. I've said this before in the past. They push the dirt down and it slides down and destroys the trees. And we've been cleaning up ever since, almost 2.5 months now. We keep cleaning up all these trees along the slope, because what needs to happen is this. Once all these trees are cleared and it's clean down there, all this dirt that you see here, okay, I mean, you can't walk down this. So what has to happen from a civil engineering standpoint, this is me taking you behind the scenes. From a civil engineering standpoint of view, we have to cut into the slope. And so it kind of like gradually goes down. And I'm going to show you that in another video, because we've already done that in a location down that way, which is a road that was there for some time, but we finally kind of fixed the slope. We cut into the slope and rounded it down. So I'll walk up and then I'll walk down, and you can envision what I'm going to show you probably a half a kilometer from here. That road goes down to the beachfront lots. This particular area here, this is the hotel area. Can you imagine? Like, look at all that land right there. In Nicaragua, that would be enough for a hotel, okay? That would be enough for a hotel. Okay? But we have all this land for our international hotel and residences to build and to play with. That's why here at Playa Mariana, everything will have an ocean view, because density is not our goal. Exclusivity, privacy, view, that is our goal. And we're going to utilize our land in a way in which will give everybody space, so don't feel like you're crowded one on top of another when you start to buy real estate here in Playa Mariana. And that's why this, let's go walk over here. That's why this is the most valuable land in the country. That's why this is the best location in the country. That's why when you see the beach, when you go down there, it's the best beach in the country. It's absolutely amazing. Now, I would say second to our beach is maybe Pochimil and Masachapa, because we're all kind of in the same area. But between Pochimil and Playa Mariana, it's pretty well the same beach in this area. But there are no other projects. Okay, you might find 2 or 3 rooms or some hostels, but there's no real project from Masachapa, you know, almost to Choco Centre, right? We're the only ones. This is the Pacific Passage, and this is the beachfront here. Well, not the beachfront. This is the ocean front here at Playa Mariana. And where I'm standing right now, okay, above the ground, you see how we're above? There's the highway over there. Okay, I'm about 600 feet back from our property line. You can see the fence line, okay? That's part of the fence line that we've been putting in. I was talking about in a previous video. It's part of securing 1,200 meters of fence line along the beachfront and continuing to clear down below lots for owners that are getting ready to build homes, and for us as well, getting ready to continue construction of vertical product coming out of the ground. So that's a little bit about the ocean view. You can see from above the beachfront. We'll go down to the beach next. I don't know if it's low tide or high tide right now. Kind of looks like high tide, but let's go check it out. We may not get the prettiest of pictures today, but you get a good sense right now of driving in off of the highway and then coming to the oceanfront. Envision a main boulevard that goes parallel to the coastal highway that's some 33 meters wide. To put that in perspective, the coastal highway is about 14 meters wide. So the road we were driving on, imagine a road twice that size, but inside our project. And that is the main feature, one of the main features of our development, besides this ocean view and the beach down below. So let's go right now and let's go check it out. You're gonna drive with me now. I'm at the top of the slope. Look, I changed my shirt. We're still on the same day. My hat, new hat, okay, and changed my shirt. I haven't met anyone yet. Actually, that's not true. I just met Carlos, our site supervisor over there in the house. That forced me to change my shirt, because that's the rules of the game today. When I talk to a Nicaraguan, I'm changing clothes. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna drive down from the top of the slope, which was the hotel area that I was describing in a previous video, and we're gonna go down this road. Now, this road wasn't always there. The important thing to understand here is I want you to pay attention to the elevation change, because this was all that dirt that the coastal highway people brought, and now we're working with it. We got to do work to level it out with the civil engineering and the plans. But when I came here in October, all right, in the rainy season, this road has never really been done. We've cleared it like years ago, but the rain like destroys it every single year. All right, now it's not a road you can go in by car. Even 4x4, you really are not going to go into that road. And so you see the height difference between the road where it is and the amount of dirt that was brought here. It's huge, right? Like a lot. And what has to happen in this area is you're going to see in the civil engineering plans, the whole slope is going to be smooth, and then including this road, and then it'll go straight. It kind of comes down, and then levels of terraces and goes down to the bottom. All right. So follow the road as we go down, because half of this dirt will be covering this road. This road will probably be a good 5 feet higher by the time we're done. And everything you see on the right, some of it, like look at the roots of the trees, right? We didn't do this. This was kind of always here for 20 years. But you see how you can see the roots of the trees? Probably by the time that we're done, all right, this might be completely level with new dirt or foundations are moved. I'm not sure how the civil engineering people do it. Well, that's not true. I do know, but it's too much to explain in this video. But we're gonna fix all this. This is part of next year's project, but step by step, because while you might be thinking when you go to a project, oh, I don't see anything, but there's so much work going on behind the scenes, right? Why go build a house, all right, when you can't get materials down to build it because the road is washed away or you can't access it? So there are certain things within a project that you just have to do first, all right? So when you come down this slope area here, just to give you a sense, in fact, now that I'm here, let's step out of the car. Here we go again. I'm doing it again. So let's step out of the car. I'm gonna turn off the car, all right? So when you come down the slope on the master plan, all right, you can see the slope, see the height difference? I gotta remember what I'm doing. See the height difference there? All right, that's 20 meters from the top of that slope. And you see how it goes down? and then eventually comes to this beachfront level area. And there is a massive, massive amount of land down here at the beach. So when you come down on the master plan, you may have noticed it on the northern side of the property. When you come down, there's going to be this rotunda here, all right? This huge, huge rotunda to go all the way around, all right? So when you come to the rotunda, you can go right, and there's parking. I'm pretty well standing in the parking zone right over here. This is kind of like parking, future parking, right here. And then where that White House is located, to the right of it, we're standing straight ahead will be 2 beachfront condo buildings facing the ocean and a beach club in front of it. So when you come and you're an owner of these beachfront condos, you'll have access down a private gated area down to the bottom of the beachfront. You'll be able to park your car here and then walk to your condos. And then in front of those condos will be a beach club. Now, for the people that want to come and access the beach club for the day, the parking is at the top, okay? You got to pay to get in, parking will be at the top, and then you can walk down to the bottom, and there'll be services here. Not so much a restaurant, but you'll be able to buy some drinks, use a pool, and access the beach and whatever rentals that we have. Why? Because on the other side of that White House, which we're going to go see in a moment, is the location of our bungalows and the bungalow hotel, all right? That's really, really important to understand, because there's going to be a restaurant there. In fact, you know what? Let's go walk right now. The car is fine where it is. Okay, so let's walk. So you could say right now, think through that White House and this area right here in front of the house, all right? This is kind of like the maintenance area, right? This is where you're going to collect the garbage temporarily. This is where you're going to have the employee housing. This is where you're going to have your maintenance equipment. So the zone from where I'm standing right now, see this road? See this road right here? Okay, this is kind of like a service road, all right? So this service road area here services the bungalows that'll be over there, okay? And beside the White House is going to be the restaurant, and I'll show you that in a second. And then on the right side of these condos, on the right side of that house will be the condos, all right? So let's just go walk right now. So let's assume that this is the maintenance area, this is staff parking, that's where they are. Your car over there is parking, okay? So actually maybe it's good that I left it there, because you can get a sense of scale. So that's parking, and now you're already at the condo building. Like where I'm standing right now is one of the condo buildings, okay? And then the other condo building, because they're both going to be facing the ocean, it might be on a slight of an angle, depends on the view. The architect is working on the exact placement, but we'll know that in about a week's time, because that was the purpose. Remember, I had that architect meeting yesterday, May 1st, and our architect, Donald Reiki, who's been amazing, he's such a fantastic architect, right? So there's parking. There's one condo building there, and then there's another condo building. Continuing where I left off, I was telling you about how this is the condo development area right where I'm standing right now. There's two condo buildings with 2 different models that are to the right of that White House. Where my car is essence the parking to walking to the condo building. So what I want to do right now is I want to walk with you to the beachfront. Let me just get a better view. Okay, so let's go. Remember, I just got out of my car. These are my neighbors. They've been here 47 years. Okay, and they look after the land. It's a sugarcane field right beside us. Their family of goats. Oh, there's the babies. You might have noticed those babies back in October and November in some previous videos. They were like really tiny. So we are putting in all kinds of new fencing. You see the new post? There's new posts that are going in and new wire, because we're on a mission right now of securing the borders. I already talked about that. And you can see right here, all this stuff needs to be removed. It's just part of the process. But this is, by and large, the beach club area. So for people in the beach club, they'll walk from the top to the bottom. Where the cars are, that's the parking to the condos. And then this entire area, you might say like 50 feet back and all the way to the beachfront, it's a huge beachfront club area. It doesn't mean the beach club is going to be super massive, but it's a huge area for the beachfront. So these are some of the poles that are continuing from here all the way up to the top. It's part of the fencing project, getting everything tightly secured on the land. And as you can see, they didn't leave me a door, so I'm going to keep walking to the left, but I'll take you to the beach so you can see it firsthand. So you're coming to the beach right now. Okay, this is basically the beach club at Playa Mariana and fronting the beachfront condos. So here, look, see, new poles, a new wire, and this is not easy work to do. Not easy work at all. In fact, every one of these poles, when they buried in the ground, requires 3 trips to the ocean with buckets of water from 2 people to make it easier to dig the sand. But they're solid. Like, they're solid. So this is the beachfront. It's high tide right now at Playa Mariana, so perhaps not visually the best time to show you pictures of the beach. But on the other hand, I think it's always good to see the beach during high tide, because that's usually a time in which you see how much beach is left to be able to use. Because as you've seen when I visited other beaches on my trips, I've taken pictures of low tide and high tide. At high tide, there are chairs in a restaurant right at high tide, but this is high tide now. You can see the different color and the darkness of the sand. All right, and when you go that way, it is about 4 kilometers to Pochimil Viejo, and a couple kilometers beyond that is Masachapa. And from this point right here, from that post, is 2 kilometers all the way to the Tecolapa River. Okay, that's really, really important to understand, because you can walk a full 2 kilometers that way, you can walk 8 kilometers that way, and then to Casares and Boquete down on the other end, you go another 12 kilometers. So you have over 20 kilometers that you can walk of beachfront. There's just simply not many places in the country where you have 20 kilometers of beachfront. Now, while our property is only 2 of the 20, and I want to be clear, I don't want any haters out there, I don't own the beach over here. You see this part right here? I don't own that. I'm not saying I own it. Okay, it's public, it belongs to Nicaragua. Anybody who wants to walk in the sun and walk on the beach or ride a bike can access it. But this is mine. Hey, you can't come here. This is private, this is freehold, this is titled land, 120 years old, and we've been the owners for the last 20 years. It's only been in the holding of family of a title from 2 different people. So try to find beachfront freehold title an hour from the airport, duly insured from First American Title Insurance, Stewart Title Guarantee. All the property falls within a horizontal property regime. 20 kilometers of limitless opportunity along a virgin beach. I can tell you right now, you won't find it. It doesn't exist. Good luck, but you won't find it. It simply doesn't exist. I've showed you that in so many videos. Anyways, I'm biased. Okay, I love my beach. So this is mine. Okay, that is Nicaragua. This is mine. That is Nicaragua. And I'm thankful for Nicaragua, where the freehold property laws apply to foreigners that can own property in their own name. You don't need a fideicomiso. You don't need a trust. You can simply own it in your own name, and you're afforded the same rights as a local Nicaraguan citizen. So that is an amazing opportunity. Very different than Costa Rica in many places. Definitely different than Mexico on the beach. And I'll let you just find out the rest about Honduras and Panama and the rest of the world. But here at Playa Mariana, we're experts at property titles, we're experts at development and planning, and soon, with a little bit of practice, we'll be experts seeing condos being built coming out of the ground, like some of the amazing projects that you've seen in and around the entire country of Nicaragua. So I'm walking right now on what you could say is the beach club. Now you see all this? This is kind of like in the rainy season or the tides are high. Sometimes you get some water that drifts in here. Normal. Once you start moving dirt, taking out the stumps, all right, building seawalls, and then retainment areas to redirect water coming in, all this stuff disappears. All right, so I'm not trying to hide it. Okay, this is a reality of beachfront properties, so it's a little bit of engineering. For anyone who's ever been to Montelimar, you'll know what I mean, because they have water coming into the property as well, and they build these little culverts that stop the water from going any further inland and redirect it back out into the ocean, right? Almost like a horseshoe. Okay, and it's really a very interesting engineering feat. So I'm standing on what you could say right now, and you're looking at, is the beach club that's going to be here at Playa Mariana. All this area will be area designated for the beach club for people to come and to enjoy it. You got to pay to get in, of course, right? It's private lands, but it won't be impossible to come and enjoy it We're not cutting anybody off or Nicaraguans that want to come enjoy this beach and have services and amenities at your disposal. And then on this side, you have a condo building 1 coming into the future and condo building 2 coming into the future, right? Condo building 1 and 2, beach club. Beach club, condo 1, condo 2, right? And there's the parking. So my cars, that's the parking. So not far to walk, not too untypical of what you're going to find. And this area is basically our free space maintenance area. Now, I know I'm going to get in the comments, what is this White House? Well, this White House has been here for 70 years. Okay, it was the bunkhouse property of people who maintain the lands to in which we purchased from the previous owner. And they're not even grandfathered in. That's their title. They own that house. Okay, but they're really great people. And we use that house from time to time for events and coming here with clients. And we're going to build beside them and improve the area for everybody to enjoy. So in this maintenance area here, okay, this maintenance area here will service both the beachfront condos and the beach club. And over here, from that service road, okay, all this beachfront area here will be the bungalows, part of our boutique hotel. Now, we were going to continue construction of these structures here. See these foundations? Okay, we put these foundations in long ago, but certain things have happened with clients that we were unable to finish the bungalows, and with the development, just things happen. That's how it is. So what we're doing is, well, I guess I spoiled the surprise, but we're not building bungalows here. What's going to happen is you're going to use the structure here and that structure there. And it's going to be a connecting restaurant, okay, an area where you can come and enjoy. So what you're going to find is when you can imagine and picture in your mind, all right, you're coming into the area. Somewhere over there is the reception. Actually, where those goats are, okay, that's the reception area where you come in, the check-in, and then you'll walk your way to the bungalow area and to the hotel over, let me stand up here, the hotel over here. So this is the restaurant, everybody. So when you see future pictures of Playa Mariana and people sitting in a restaurant and or the boutique hotel where you want to enjoy the beach, this is what you're going to be looking at. And maybe the only difference is you're going to find a pool between these 2 bungalows in front, all right? A nice infinity pool for everybody to use. And so this entire area here, when you might say one structure will be used for the kitchen and another structure to use for sitting with the palapa style roof. The architect will figure that out for me, but we'll know very shortly when those plans are ready. So this is the restaurant at Playa Mariana. When you come to the Laya Resort, all right, this is the area that we're talking about. It's down below, it's on the beachfront. It's from this particular location, almost all the way to the bottom of that slope. You see that rise? Okay, that's 20 meters. That's almost like 60 feet. It doesn't look like it, but it is. All right, and so you see the parking. So when you come to the Laya Resort, you're still parking in the same area. There's the white car, and there's a huge parking area. In front of that is the rotunda. In front of that is the reception. In front of that is the restaurant right here. Okay, the restaurant that's going to be in front of the beach, and in front of the restaurant will be a pool, likely right over here. We'll see how that fits in to the structure of the design, but this is where it's going to be. And then there's going to be a tiny home sample right beside, like right there. And that's, you know, it sounds funny because you have all this beach, but if it's anything I'm really excited about, it's the new design of our tiny home and architecturally what it's going to look like, functionally how it's going to work. And that's going to be like right here, okay? A beautiful model home, okay, that you can come, stay in, enjoy, see. So it's a home that you can replicate and build for yourself on the other lots that are for sale within the development. And as you can see from the structures, see all this beach? A lot of area, okay? A lot of area. When you've seen other locations where people put a pool, you still have a lot of beach to use, all right? And you can see this is our property line of the beach. Remember, we own this. This is public, all right? Public. We own this. This is what we're selling, all right? So when you're ready to experience the dream, when you're ready to want to own a piece of this beachfront, freehold title, owning it in your own name, this is where it's going to be. Whether it's going to be the beachfront condos on the other side of the house, all right, or it's going to be one of our Laya Resort boutique bungalows. You can own them both and take part of the cash flow and get yourself into the rental program. It's going to be amazing. And then you'll see our tiny home, which is located right here. And then the hotel development parcel is from this particular point straight 136 meters, about 500 feet. And it goes from this beachfront all the way back on top of the slope and then all the way to the road, like another 1,000 feet. It's amazing. I mean, it's simply amazing. And this will be the most talked about, the most desired property development in all of Nicaragua. It won't make all the other developments irrelevant, just only different. But when you want beach, the uniqueness of the real estate offerings that are coming, the exclusiveness and the pristine real estate offerings that we're going to have, the security of title insurance, the protection and enforcement mechanisms of a horizontal property regime to make sure maintenance fees are paid and so properties don't fall into disrepair. When you're looking for a contiguous master plan that has been thought about 8 ways to Sunday along the prime coastal highway with 4 kilometers of frontage on both sides in total, an hour from Managua and more or less an hour and 10 to 15 minutes to San Rafael del Sur on the coastal highway, surrounded by 6 different towns for support, services, labor. You tell me where you can get that. I say nowhere. That's why you're welcome. You're welcome to come to Playa Mariana and experience it all. So go down below in the links, okay, or up above in the bio. Find your way to playamariana.com, and you too could be standing here with me, okay, very soon picking out your property and where it is you're going to build or own very shortly. You're with me now, Kevin Fleming, developer of Playa Mariana in Nicaragua. You're at the actual corner of my property. You saw it 1.4 kilometers from this point, goes all the way to the pump house well location, and we're gonna go visit that. But at the end of those 1.4 kilometers, this is where you come to on the master plan, right here. And from this particular point that you're looking at right now to the end of that white fence in front of the house, that is the length of the beach club coming to Playa Mariana. It is going to be amazing. But it's not only a beach club, there's a pool for the condominiums for the private owners, and then an access path for the public and people who want to pay to access this tremendous opportunity here in Nicaragua. The beachfront condos are going to be for sale, of course. In fact, you can find out more about them now at playamariana.com, or go down below in the link in the description, or click the link in the bio, and you're going to quickly find yourself at something you've never seen before. This experience is non-existent in the country of Nicaragua, where you have this much beach for a beach club, then condominiums, and you can kind of see the rise of the slope where I am parked. That's the parking where my white car is over there, and it goes up 20 meters. And there's another shelf. So while we have 2 kilometers of beachfront in what you see right here, remember I showed you on the top? There's also 2 kilometers on the top. So that's almost 4 kilometers of frontage of the ocean, along with 2 kilometers of the coastal highway on both sides. What you're looking at right now is, quite frankly, the most valuable, the most sought after, and will be the most pristine development in all of Nicaragua coming soon. That's Playa Mariana. Remember that name, Playa Mariana. You see it right there? Mariana. Remember that. You see it's on my shoulder? Mariana. That's what you want to remember. Remember, this is my vision. Wherever you are in the world, wherever you're going to be, everybody that's going to come to Nicaragua, they're coming to Mariana. That's where they're coming to. You won't even have to say Nicaragua. Like Vegas, you don't say Las Vegas or Nevada. The Eiffel Tower, you don't say Paris. Disneyland, you don't say like somewhere in the United States. All right, come with me now. We're down at the beachfront area along the service road in front of where I was. Remember I was over there by the beachfront where the White House was and the bungalows? In fact, let me just stop so I'll give you some bearing, right? So this is where I am. So there's the beachfront right there. And I'm driving right now along the road. Right now, see, that's in front of the Laya Resort area and the tiny homes and then the beachfront to the hotel. So this is the temporary service road. And then I was mentioning to you before in other videos, I'll just stop, it's hard to tell you this. And then up top there, you can see the slope. See where it goes up high? Okay, you kind of see that. That's 20 meters above sea level. And then that overlooks the ocean over here. And that difference is about 550 feet. And so what splits that area is this road. Now, this is a temporary service road that we use because it gets us to what I'm going to show you next, has an opening of a road, the main road that we've always had on the master plan, that's been registered and all of our permits and everything we're doing. the road. It's where the road comes down, and we shaped the slope from the top to the bottom, which will give you a better sense of what that other road will look like. But not just the other road, okay? The whole entire slope will be created in a manner in which we can build on, compacted. You don't need any retaining walls, and the road coming down will be a permanent road that will stay in shape and drivable in all seasons, like forever, because that's the road that we're going to want to pave. And all the roads here at Playa Mariana, they will be paved, but they'll be paved in stages of development, meaning first comes access, okay, then comes material select, and then comes the paver stones in order of priority. Now, what's happened here is you may have seen this road before. Since October, half of this road's always been here, and we cleared it once a decade ago, all right? But things have since grown back, and over the last 3-4 months, we've been working really hard to clear this whole road again. But this time we dug into the ground to remove all the underlying stuff that grew back and removed all the stumps. And so it won't be another decade again that we leave it, so that's not going to happen anymore. Now we're coming up to, I guess where I am right now is the beginning of the home sites that are on the right hand side. Now most of them are sold. There's a few that are not, and I'll point out more or less because the topography is still coming. I told you about the topography that we have to do and creating the lots. So flow with me now. We have some owners that have cleared some land, and we have some lots that we're clearing to build a show home on, okay, potentially, or we might just sell the lot. But I'll give you an example of one particular lot right now, and that is right here to the right, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you what you're looking at. You're looking at the equivalent space of 60 meters of beachfront, all right? In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get out of the car. This is a good idea just to show it to you, all right? Come with me. Let's go check it out today. This is what we do, right? So I'm running out of daylight. It's 3 o'clock, and there's so much more to do. All right, so let me explain to you one lot. This is a typical beachfront lot when you clear it. And the beachfront lots here at Playa Mariana are along the main beachfront road, right? We came from that distance all the way at the end. So when you look at the master plan, looking on the left-hand side where the lots begin, that's where we are. There's about 5 lots here, right? Now, there's a lot, and then there's a path, and then there's another lot, all right? And so I'll give you some perspective. Let me back up. So right here, this particular area that you can see from there to here is about 60 feet, 20 meters, and the lots are 60 by 250 feet. So imagine and pretend and walk with me that, you see that stick? That's one of the stick markers when it cleared the road. This is the edge of one side of the road. Then on 7 meters, you can kind of see another stick over there. That's the width of the road. And you can see how it's cleared all the way down. That's no easy task because look at all those trees. Look at all those trees. And we had to, like, half of them already gone, half of them we had to remove, half of them we had to remove the stumps, burn it, clear it. So it's not easy. And you can see some stumps on the ground here too. It's just a factor of timing that these need to be removed also. But we want to get the machine here after we've done clearing some more owners' lots and down in the hotel area that's done too. But let me walk with me, okay? I'll show you what a beachfront lot looks like right now walking towards the ocean front. Because where you see the post now, that's why you can get some perspective. This is 250 feet. So walk with me now and I'll tell you how long it takes because I can see the timer on my camera. So here at Playa Mariana, you can't build on the first 30 feet of your lot inwards. That is the zone space where you can't build on. And then your lot will begin, all right? And you can build, there's a 4,000 square foot print on the land that you can build. And the setbacks are 10 feet on each side to your neighbor. And then from the fence line this way is 120 feet inwards you can build. And that way everybody will have a view to the ocean and not be blocked. You can put a pool there and you can put up some trees, that's fine, right? But you can't put up a structure within 120 feet of this fence line. And then you can see it's high tide right now, so it's actually a really good example to show you when you build a beachfront home site, when you build a home on your beachfront home site, what exactly is happening here at Playa Mariana, because you've seen the beach, you see me drive on it, right? So here's how far the water comes. So you can see all the beach down that way, all right? And this is where the water comes to. I was at some beaches down south in San Rafael del Sur, like Playa Romanzo and Playa Madera, and there was restaurants right up to the water, and there was chairs right up to the water's edge. I was amazed by that. But here, the laws really are about 90 meters from high tide, okay, is where you can start to build your home, all right? Actually, 90 meters, 90 feet from high tide, all right? So you got to be careful, and you have to adhere to those standards and those conditions in the country. But as you can see, I don't want to cut myself on this barbed wire. This is high tide. This is the beach that you can take a quad down. You can rent horses. You can walk some 12 kilometers that way easily, and this way you can walk from this particular point another 10 kilometers easily. Well over 20 kilometers of beachfront that you can walk even at high tide. There is no point that is going to stop you when you walk this beach, because there's no rocks. There's no outcropping of anything or bays. It's just straight down. And so this is what a typical beachfront lot looks like. You see my car, right? I parked right at the lot line. And on the master plan, there's that road I was talking about. So that's what a road looks like after you work it with the slope, okay, so you can drive down it. Now, we won't drive down it this year because we're watching the water and the drainage, and we're busy doing the water plan for the installation of all the lots, because we have over 70 lots to bring water to, and probably at least 25 individual different development parcels within the development. So that design will be ready probably in 1 more month, and then we'll be able to commence trenching and bringing the water to all the lots down at the beachfront. And just so you know, that's not a quick thing. That's like a 6-month project. That's not an easy task. But when you want to imagine yourself having this beachfront lot right here, okay, you'll come down that road, okay, your house will probably be somewhere over here, okay, well away from the high tide, and this is your view. And I'm just standing on the lot, you see? I'm just standing on the dirt, but you can imagine, obviously, once you level your lot and then you start building, you're going to be up. It came out a 2nd story view. It's incredible, right? It's incredible. So let's walk back. So that's what a 1/3 of an acre looks like, 60 by 250, all right? Do the math. 15,000 square feet. That's what a 1/3 of an acre. An acre is 44,000 square feet, so I guess it's technically a little bit more than a 1/3 of an acre. And I will walk just a little bit just to give you a sense of scope and scale. So this particular lot, all right here is $147,000. This lot right here. It's one of 3 lots remaining out of approximately 23 of that size. And there's some other ones that we have available. I think 2 more maybe out of the total. Now this area is quite unique because right here, what you're looking at is the public access path for the project for people to go to the beach. Now, you can't see where there's going to be bathrooms or showers here because, you have to, put on your thinking cap and envision and picture that. But there's one lot here. This lot is sold. An owner is getting ready for construction, although I think he might be building on a different lot, but this lot was cleared. And this area is 9 meters wide. So the road coming down is 9 meters wide. It's about 33 feet. And it's also 9 meters wide here. So when you look at the master plan, it looks small, right? But it's not that small. It's pretty wide. 9 meters is a lot. So not some skinny path to the beach, because it's an experience to go to the beach. And we want this to be an amazing picture-taking moment for you to be right here and taking a picture of the beach. So just look where my face is in this video, and just imagine yourself in the middle of this ocean that's in front of you. It's going to be incredible. Now, we're going to drive down the rest of this road, and I'll do it slowly. It's going to be bumpy. But essentially, on the right-hand side are all the beachfront lots that we have. And there are lots on the opposite side that are the same size, 60 by 250. The buildable space on them is a little bit different because, of course, it goes up the slope, okay? So half of the 250 of these lots that are across the street, you can only build on about half of it. And everything on this side of the street is 1 level, okay? Sorry, it can be 1 level. and everything on this side can be 2 levels. And it's like that because of the slope. What we don't want are people building homes on this side of the road and this side of the road that are above the slope. So when you're at the top, and I'm gonna walk up there, then I'll make another video coming down. I don't want people at the top to be able to see pictures of the roof coming up above the slope. That would not be good. That would not be good. So that's a little bit about in this particular area where the road is. So I talked about the lot, a beachfront lot, more or less the price, the width of this public access path, the road to the beach that goes down the rest of the beach with lots that are available for sale on both sides, and the main access road that comes down to the beachfront road and the public area for the rest of the people in the development. Now, only the people, there'll be a gate and a guard shack at the top. So the area down below is private. Only people with homes down below or renting will be able to pass the gate and come down here. Other than that, there'll be a pathway where you can walk, but you can't bring your car, and then you can walk to get to the beach, which is absolutely fine. It's pretty normal to have it like that. So there you have it. That's a little taste of the beachfront here at Playa Mariana. You're with me now. I am beside Playa Mariana on my neighbor's property, which happens to belong to Carlos and his family that have been here for 47 years. So talk about having good neighbors to look after your interests. There's Dad. There's Dad. Hola, buenas tardes. And Playa Mariana is right over here, and you can see the ocean view straight ahead of you. And remember, we were just down at the beach. I came up here to charge my phone because it died. And just down there is where we were when I was taking all those amazing videos, right? So now I have paid all the workers. They're all up to date. Chainsaw's got oil, gas, the fencing. We bought some more rolls to finish the fence line, which will be done next Thursday. And then we'll be cleaning up all the rest of the bottom of the land down there and removing the stumps. So May is going to be a big job for stump removal, fencing, clearing. We want to get all that stuff done before the rains come, which is happening right away in about 2-3 weeks. And then when all that's done, all the master planning of that bottom 4 to 5 acres will be complete. And then we'll be able to work on the landscaping of the perimeter, not yet interior because they got to build. And we don't want to plant stuff that's going to get destroyed or earth that's going to move, because you see all this dirt. This is really important to pay attention to, because in the civil engineering that we have to do, this road will be repaired in the sense that it's going to be 7 meters wide, and probably half that dirt will end up covering this road with some base material. And I won't be surprised to see this road 4 feet higher at the end of the next dry season. We're getting close to the rains now, so we can't move any dirt or do any work in the rainy season. That's just not going to be worth it. But the planning of this and the scope of this job is not small in any way. But we'll finally have, that's one of 3 major roads down to the beach. I'm going to go now to the other road that we opened up, which is the road to the actual lots that are down on the beachfront. This road here is specifically only for the Laya Resort Bungalow Hotel and the beachfront condominiums and the club. That's all this road is for. And this road goes from the beachfront down there and connects with the Coastal Highway just right there. It's a half a kilometer from that Coastal Highway through Playa Mariana down to the beach. So a very short distance, but this hill, all this dirt, we need to fix this. This is the dirt that was brought here from the Coastal Highway, which is a good thing because it gives us a lot of base material to work. But you know, there's material select, there's a lot of shaping still that needs to go on in this area and the property because it's flat. It's like a canvas here. So as you can see, there's no trees. It's not environmentally protected. It's basically a blank canvas waiting to be created. Okay, drive with me now. We're gonna go down the rest of the beachfront road. I just explained the 2 lots, and you've seen that this is the 9-meter wide area that gets to the beach, and then on the other side it goes up the hill. And I'm gonna go walk up the hill afterwards, but let's drive down to the end of the road because the beachfront lots that we have available and the progress that we want to see, what's taking place, I can explain to you now. So as I'm bouncing around, what's important to understand is we just finished a huge road project and cleaning project, because when we first came here in October, you may have seen we started to work in clearing this road because we already done it once before. And like I mentioned before, it's been a long time, things grew back, so we had to clear it again. So we just finished doing that, finished clearing it 7 meters wide, removing all the stumps, and you can see some of the markers on both sides of the roads as we drive down. There's one stick on the right, there's one stick on the left. That's 7 meters wide, okay? Now, what is difficult to see, and I'm gonna stop for a second so you can see it. Now, what's happening? So what's happening down here is, in this road area, let me move this so you can see it. All right, so what's happening is, this road is 7 meters wide, and then there's 1 more meter after that, which is a utility corridor, and then the lots begin 250 feet to the beach, and the same thing, 250 feet to the left and up the slope. And what just finished 3 weeks ago, that took almost 3 weeks, was after we cleared the center, we burned 3 meters on both sides of the road, so we would have a utility corridor for electrical and for water to be installed, and that had to be done as well. So we had a machine that came in and did the main road and took out the stumps. Then you had to clear all that. All right, so everywhere you look to the right and everywhere you look to the left, that's exactly how it looked in the center. All right, now it's probably pretty hard for you to comprehend what it takes to cut all these thorny bushes. I showed you in another video that all this stuff here isn't environmentally protected. We've had our permits from INI4 for a long time, and we've cleared here before, and it's thorny, sharp brush. This is not what I would call landscaping of what you're going to want on your lot by any means, but that's why you clear your lot, like I showed you back there, where you clear it and then you build and then you plant, and it looks like your own personal paradise after that. Now, there's only 3 home sites that are available along this entire beachfront. There's a 70-foot beachfront lot, and there's 2 60-foot beachfront lots along this entire area. Now, I can't point it out to you because we haven't been able to do the topography yet to put in the concrete markers. Because why? We needed to clear the road, and then we needed to burn the utility corridor to get to where we can now bring the topographer out next week. I'm not sure when you're watching this, but it's May 2nd today. We can bring the topographer out next week or within the next 2 weeks, and it takes about 2 days to properly mark and put in the concrete markers where the corners of the lots are going to be located. So you do the math. There's like 60 lots to do plus the development parcels. Let's call it 100 lots where you need 4 corners, and it takes 2 days per lot. That's 200 days. That's almost 6 months. Okay, 6 months of work to do the topography. Now we're going to start on the lots first. Okay, of course, the ones that are for sale and some of the ones where people want to build. And you'll see that work in the coming months as we start and move towards that project. And that'll be good because, very similar to the fence that you saw along the beach, there'll be a fence along both sides of the roads, and in the middle of that fence is going to be the lot marker and the ID and the sign. So for all those people who own their lot, they can find it. For those who want to sell it, they can send an agent, they'll be able to find it. And for the lots that we have left over to sell, we'll be able to show it to you, which has been very difficult. You have to have a really good imagination to understand like where everything is around here. And so that doesn't come like easily, but it's not something that's impossible either. So I've reached the end of the road where there are 4 huge estate lots that are on the master plan that we show, and only 1 is available for sale, as the other 3 already belong to somebody else, and there's some construction that are on the site. Now, those particular lots, for those of you who are familiar with the property, they've been here for a while, but we include them on the master plan because 1, they're our neighbors. 2, we're friendly like that, and we want to bring water and power and help them out as well. And so I'm going to show you another lot that's available for sale, and this one is big. It's like 130 feet wide, and it sits beside a neighbor who has 240 feet. And I'm actually thinking about keeping it for myself, but let's go take a look. All right, let me jump out of the car. Here we go. Ready? I'm not stopping the car. We'll just keep this party going. All right, so here we are at beachfront, and it's still the same. Excuse me for a second. It's hot, so you have to have one of these towels around here. All right, so let me explain to you. So we're at the end of the road, the beachfront road, when you look on the master plan, all the way down there. So from this point, it is 1.2 kilometers to the border of where that road is that went up that we actually came down. Now this lot here that you see is sold. That one's not available, okay? It's a huge lot, but there is this one that's available. It's 130 feet wide by 240 feet deep. It's ready for construction. It's cleared and it's direct ocean view. An amazing opportunity. So for $297,000, this could be your ownership of a beachfront lot, dual title insurance from First American Title Insurance and Stewart Title, and that's not something that you want to ignore. You're with me again down beachfront here at Playa Mariana, and I'm showing you the end of the road from where we came from all the way down on the other side, 1.2 kilometers. When you follow that beachfront road, you end up here. And you'll recognize this particular point because it comes to an end where there's 4 huge, massive estate lots, 130 feet wide by 250 feet deep. And 3 of them are gone. They're already, I won't say sold, but people have already built on them. But there is this one here that's available. All right, the last super estate lot, beachfront, and we'll walk down the path so you can get a little more view of it. So for $297,000, it's freehold title, dual title insurance from First American and Stewart Title on the lands, and it falls under our horizontal property regime. Amazing, right? So when you come all the way down the road, every lot is beachfront like this. Some are cleared, some are not. It's really the owner's responsibility to clear the lot. Some do, some don't. Some we have to clear and charge them later. That's how it is sometimes. But this is typical of a beachfront lot when it's cleared, keeping the key trees that are good. And I'll walk over and we'll peek over at one of the lots that have been under construction and built for some time now. So let's continue to walk. This was a lot that we started to clear for another owner. They're going to be building fairly soon. They're building 3 structures on this massive 240-foot wide beachfront lot. So that one's sold, okay? But this one is available, and this one is exactly what all of the beachfront lots here at Playa Mariana look like. And it's freehold title. As you can see, it's directly beachfront. You've seen me go to all the beaches so far, or not all of them, depends when you watch this video. But I'll have visited most of the beaches from the border of Costa Rica all the way to the north of Puerto Loyo, and you'll have seen the core beaches and the opportunities that are available. Right now it's high tide here at Playa Mariana, May 2nd at 3:45. I'm running short on daylight to get everything done that I want to, but it looks like I'm going to be seeing the sunset here this evening. But what I like about high tide is the beachfront at low tide is always great, right? But at high tide, you get to see how much beach is really left, where the water goes, does it come onto the property? Now, obviously during storms, you're going to get a little bit of water coming onto your property. But look at the size of this lot right here, all right? And you too can envision yourself a house in this particular location. So let me walk the entire beachfront for you because this is worth seeing, because I want to show you what some of the before and after looks like, but also respecting somewhat the privacy of people in this area. But how could you not snap a few pictures and take a little video of something that's finished to give you some ideas of what things can be and become really, really fast. And what I'm about to show you could be your beachfront lot in less than 6 months should you get started today. So this is your beachfront here. All right, I just walked the whole entire beachfront. All right, really, really beautiful. So when you walk out, you have that entire coastline. As far as you can see, is approximately 7 kilometers, and it goes this way. And we've only reached half of the property distance. There's still another kilometer of property that's part of Playa Mariana in its original format. And so here's what that whole entire lot looks like. And here is a bit of a peek of what your lot could look like, okay, in less than 6 months. Okay, you can put grass down, you can make plans to have a casita. When you have your own cuidador, all this kind of junk you see in driftwood, well, you know, it comes in and it goes out, but you could clear it to have your beach looking good. But this is pretty typical of tides when they bring it in and it disappears. And I'm gonna sneak a peek for you. You ready? Here it goes. Here's a peek for you. See, palapa type construction, solar panel, off grid, your own well. It's beautiful. And you can have all that done in about 6 months time. So it's something you want to consider. You're with me now at the top of the slope where the beach road goes down to the beach lots. So this is what it looks like down below where you see my car. That's the road, of course, and I'm up 20 meters above sea level. And this particular road is the private entrance road to the community of beachfront lots down below. So unless you have a home there or you're renting it, you can't access the bottom, okay? But for the rest of the development that's on the top over here, there's a pathway, there's access that'll take you down to where the car is located. And where the car is located, we saw that in a previous video, that is the public access way to the beach. So if you look at the car, about 15 feet on both sides, all right, is the public way to the beach. And where you see to the left of the car, that's one lot that's sold, and where you see to the right, that was another lot that I was showing you before that is available for sale. Do you remember the price? $147,000. What a deal for freehold title land with title insurance under a horizontal property regime, okay, water included in the HOA. And I'm walking down the road. So as you can see, a lot of work has been done on this road to open it up according to the master plan. And there's still more work to do, but this is an idea of the amount of work that needs to be done on that slope where the hotel is that goes down to the Playa Resort to smooth it out. So eventually when all this is carved out and paved with drainage, you'll be able to drive down. Right now, this is just all like, you know, dust and dirt and cut and fill material to be used after the rainy season. So this is gonna look ugly, ugly for the next 6 months. But the hard work was done in cutting it through and clearing the roads down below. But this is what we need to do on the other side of the project, on that road that we drove down. This is similar to how it's going to be when we're done by the end of 2026. So we have this road and we'll have the other road at the end of the property that goes down to the hotel. So the hotel will have its own road that sort of looks like that. I mean, that's the ideal component that we're trying to create. And this area here is the public access way. The beachfront lots start there, and the beachfront lots start there, and they continue all the way down that road on both sides. So an amazing opportunity here at Playa Mariana. You don't want to miss out. Go to playamariana.com, find out more, get in touch with me. You're going to be glad you did. Say goodbye to my baby, Playa Mariana. Bye. What a great day we've had so far, right? I've shown you the beach, the coastal highway, how to get here, San Marcos, all kinds of things. But more importantly, the pure freehold title beachfront that is just that way, a half a kilometer to the beachfront. That's one entrance. There's another entrance about a half a kilometer down the way, and that is going to be the main principal entrance. Then there's a third entrance, and from this particular point, the tree line is the border of the property as I recorded to you. And from here is a half a kilometer to the beach. That road in the corner goes down to the Playa Hotel Resort and the Casitas and the Beach Club. And then you can't see it, but there's almost an opening right there. We just walked up that way, and I showed you how the road is going to look where it opens up from the beachfront lots. It's going to be amazing. There's people already driving on the highway, and now I'm going to take you down this road. So come with me. Let's go to the water area. Let's see what's happening over there. Follow me now. We're going to go straight. This is the other half of the coastal highway. I've been showing you a half a kilometer that way, which is 150 acres. But the reality is this property is 923 acres. Now the border is just to the left of us of the property, about 50, 100 meters. So I won't focus there, I'll focus on this side. Everything you see in front of you is what we own all the way to the mountains. And from the coastal highway, it's a half a kilometer back towards the water. And to the mountains, it's almost 2.5 kilometers in depth. So to put that in perspective, the property is 923 acres, separated in half by the Tecalapa River, with almost equal parts on both sides, and goes 2 kilometers wide by 3 kilometers deep. Now I keep mentioning the property is separated by 2 parts, right? And there's a river that separates it. We saw the bridge. Now this particular part that we're on right now, the highway came through, let's say, the middle of it. Not quite exact, but close enough. And so there's all this land over here. Now in the original master plan, it was a golf course, and it took up a lot of the land, and there were lots all along the road that you see to the right. So they are still possible to have a lot there, but the highway has cut the project in half, and it's changed things, okay? So as a developer, good, bad, indifferent, blessings, curses, it's just something that we have to deal with, because we do have a lot of people who purchased home sites like right here. And so what happens to them? So these are just things that we have to work out as part of the process of dealing with the results of the coastal highway. That was something that was unforeseen where it went, because it was originally intended to be in a much different location and approved, but things happen. So now we're looking at this backland. This is a playground. So I suppose in some sense you might say, in the very beginning, Playa Mariana is 923 acres, the entire size. The real development area and the space on the coastal highway is the more valuable property. And this property is valuable also, but it's not something that is part of the immediate plan to develop right away, because it just wouldn't make sense. All right, we had to consolidate our resources. So what we're doing right now is we're working on the topography of this area to create parcels of land that we can rent out, whether it be for agricultural or for cattle, to anybody and everybody in the area. And there's some 250 acres here that we can rent, and there's roads already carved in all around here. You don't see them all, but they're here. And this will be a good utilization of the land, especially considering that we have water, and it's our own water. So we can offer all this agricultural land for people to rent, use, or even buy with water. And we're coming up to the water right now. We're going to go take a look at the pump house, and I'm just going to walk quickly to see what's going on, talk to Wilbur, the security guy, and give you a roundabout quick view of what's going on. It's 4:20, I got an hour before dark, and I still have to go to the security house and give them a little bit of money and touch base with them and seeing what's going on. So I'm going to get out of the car right now. I'll make a separate video to tell you a little bit about everything that's happening in this particular location at what was the front entrance, but now sort of the back infrastructure entrance where the water is located, and what will likely be the community entrance for people to access the agricultural parcels of land that we have, because they're not going to go all the way around to Masachapa and come back. They're going to use this entrance right in front. And you've seen us working on this entrance right in front, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it in just a second. What's going on here? Welcome to Playa Mariana at the back entrance of what used to be the front entrance until the coastal highway has took over. And this is pretty well the road, is the road that continues down about 1.5 kilometers to the Ticolapa River, and then continues on down the old road to Casares, Juguete, and Boquete. And so we underwent a lot of, I want to say renovation, but there was a whole project here to put fence on both sides of the road, and new barbed wire and new posts, and secure this entire border, because there was cows coming and going. There was openings in the fence. We didn't have security here. It was a disaster. Okay, it was a disaster. One thing led to another, but now it's all under control, and it is firmly in my grasp. So everything is fenced off. There's the entrance I talked about in the past that we started to build, but we couldn't finish. And now we're working on putting a simple roof over top and finishing the structure to act as security for the water and the pump house and other infrastructure that's coming to the area. So let's go walk in. Let's go take a look at what's happening in this area, and I'll tell you what we have done. I'm running out of daylight. It's 4:30, and I still got to go down the road to the security family house next, and then maybe I might just stick around for a sunset, but I generally like to get back before it gets dark out of these areas, because it gets pretty dark to drive. So walking into Playa Mariana, all right? So in the case you want to rent some land in the back, come talk to me, okay? Look down below in the links in the description. And right here is our pump house. Here's some of our security guards that have been looking after it. They actually work right now for the construction company that's working on the pump house. And it's quiet times right now because we're waiting for the tank to be installed and coming next week along with the generator. So I'm told, we're a little bit late on that project. So some things go great and according to plan, but we're a little late in bringing this big black 5,800 gallon tank that I'm so excited about. It's missing. And what's going to happen is, this is the little pump house. All right, we had some sabotage in the past, so we had to take care of things. So we just don't have like a well just coming up and just pumps into the middle of nowhere, because you have to understand, from this particular point to the beachfront, particularly let's say those condos or those bungalows or those lots, it's 1.4 kilometers from this point all the way down to the beach and under the highway, and then another 1.5 kilometers almost to all the beachfront lots, let alone the other 3 kilometers of internal roads. So all that water starts here. Now we could pump another well closer to the beach, but it starts to get a little saltier the closer you get. So for now, it's cost effective just to utilize the well that we have because it's already there. Now, we had some sabotage when we first started back in December. I wrote about that, but that's been taken care of now. And there's a lock on the gate and I don't even have the key. I bet the security guards have a key, but I'll show you. Hang on a second. Okay, so in here is the well. And what will happen is inside this well, then there'll be a generator so when the water goes out, when the power goes out, the well will kick in, and when the power comes on, the generator will go off. And then there's going to be another generator pump here. And what happens is, if you don't know how water works, the well here is 200 feet deep, all right? And will produce 85 gallons of water per minute. Some wells produce more, some wells produce less. But this one is like almost bottled water drinking capability, all right? You almost don't have to treat it. That's how good the water is the further you go from the ocean. And so what happens is the pump, okay, will come out of the well at 65 gallons of water per minute. The capacity is 85, but you never want to run the water at full capacity because then you could run the risk of the well going dry. So it's generally about 3/4. And what happened is the water will come out of that well and will fill up a tank here that's 5,800 gallons. Okay, it's enough to do 50 homes at 100 gallons of water per day at full capacity. And there's room for 3 more slabs, making a total of 4 slabs and over 20,000 gallons of water, which is enough for 200 homes at 100% capacity using 100 gallons of water per day. That doesn't even exist in the country today. So this little spot right here is plenty of water for our entire development for at least 5 years. But you see all that land in front of you on the other side of this fence? This is all designated land for future development of water and infrastructure and other components that we need to do. So we built the slab. It's ready for the tank to come up here, and it just needs to be delivered and installed. So that's on the contractor to do that, and I anticipate that being done very soon. Now what happens is, how does the water get to the lots and development parcels? Well, it's in the tank right here, okay? Now normally what would happen is you might see in other projects, other developments, there's like a pump, a generator that's beside the tank, and the water goes through that pump and then will distribute water throughout the lines. So for example, in our particular project, there's a 2-inch pipe that sucks the water up into this tank. And then what will happen is there'll be a pipe from that tank that'll come back into, I know it seems kind of counterintuitive, but it comes back into the secured area where this $10,000 pump is located. So we have everything secured and can't be damaged. And once the water goes from the tank back through the pump, then the pump will come out, all right? And then that will go through a 4-inch line at 250 gallons a minute to the rest of the development. So we pump up at 65, not to overstress the well. We have 4 holding tanks. We have 20,000 gallons of water plus, and then we can deliver 250 gallons of water per minute in capacity to the rest of the area. And the system that we've created is expandable, so there's no shortage of water ever. And on the other side of the river, we actually have 3 more wells that will deliver close to 750 gallons of water per minute. Now, you'd probably only suck up about 600 of that, but still, that's a lot of water, because then you can distribute over 1,200 gallons of water to the rest of the development per minute. You can see how the math starts to add up. So that's the water area. That's the infrastructure area. We started that project in December 26th when we had to rescue the well. And I would say we were a month late, but you know, we're doing the water design now, so it's not the most critical thing, because once the water design is done and the testing of the well, it's better to get all this stuff done right. So a month late is not too bad in a 4-month project. So maybe a couple more weeks and we'll be done. Now this thing here, is our entrance. Now you may have seen this thing in previous pictures. There was trees all over it and growing out of it. We're trying to rescue this so it can act as shelter for the rainy season and the future development for the security to be able to use as a shack, a guard shack, to watch over the rest of the land. We're still gonna have to build probably 2 or 3 of those all around the project, because you have to remember we have 2 kilometers of coastal highway. There's 2 kilometers of road back here. It's a lot of property to secure. You know, being the owner of 923 acres of land and 2 kilometers of coastline, it's just, like, it sounds great, but it's a lot of work and it costs a lot of money. That's why HOA fees are really, really important, especially HOA fees that you can collect and enforce, which is not a problem here because we have a horizontal property regime. So that's basically everything I have to tell you at this entrance in a nutshell. I got to get going. Let's go on to the next piece of this land. Come with me now. We're leaving Playa Mariana just for a second. We're going to come back along this entrance in about 20 minutes before it gets too dark because I am running late today. So let's cruise down the road along this fence line. I'm going to go to the security house now, and I'm running later than I want to. So we're only going to be there for a quick 25 minutes. The sun is starting to go down. It's 5:10. It sets around 5:40. But everywhere you see on both sides of this road is Playa Mariana. And this is the agricultural side over here. And down this way, about 250 to 300 feet, it goes to a river. That's the Ticolapa River. And right here is where our security house is. This is another checkpoint for security. And this is the family that we've been helping to you. And we keep coming here and trying to take care of them as much as possible. You've seen some of the other videos, so some of what you see might be a little bit tough to handle, but you guys are strong, okay? So be strong. It's Gavin again. It's getting close to sundown. The sun is starting to come down. It's 5:25. See, look, it is 5:20, almost 5:25. And this is one of my last stops right now before I head back on the coastal highway and back to Granada. But I'm here at the security family house. Every 2 weeks we come by here to drop off some money, drop off some food, drop off some water, donations. Thank you to everybody who's donating. We bring it here, we make a video, we send it to you to ensure your money goes exactly where it should go. And these folks here have been taking care of the dogs. Remember all that dog food that I've been buying and looking after the dogs since October? You'd have to go back and see some of the videos that we've had. And some of these dogs, you can see the rib cages on all of them. So when I come out here, I'm always looking at the dogs' rib cages. This one could eat a little more. Un poquito más comida. Por la perro allá. Gordita. No, it's flaquita, flaquita. Flaquita is skinny, gordita is fat. They found a way to feed the water to the dogs. I was insistent that the dogs need water, fresh water, so that water comes from a well. And they do their best here. In the case you haven't seen this house before in any way, shape, or form, these folks were looking after our land during the demonstrations back in 2018. They were here during COVID, looking after the property, maintaining it while I couldn't be in country, my wife and I. And we got here last year to see what was going on. I was shocked. I was heartbroken. I was ashamed because people were living on my land and I didn't know that they were living in these conditions. No one sent me a picture. They just made do with what they can do. This is the well, all right? And they wash their clothes over here. C'est la poza de agua, see? Exactly. And there's like 6 people. ¿Dónde está ducha?
Sí.
¿A dónde? Allá. Oh, yeah. So it's really, really rough. And so my wife and I, we've been trying to do the best we can with donations that come in as part of our way in which to help out the family as best we can. We actually have plans for a new casita for them. We're going to be building a new 1,200 to 1,400 square foot casita in a different location because this location will end up being a security point. And we're going to move them to the other side of the land where they can have their own land and they can farm on that land and earn income and keep it and not have to pay any rent. And it's our way of trying to give back and say thank you. And so in the case you haven't seen some of the way in which the rural Nicaraguans live, this is typical living. If this is the first time you've seen a video, this might be hard for you. For me, it's difficult, okay? Because these people are on my land and we love them. They were at our event. We had a huge event in March and I invited them in, put them up in a hotel, just try and give them a bit of a break from their normal existence. But I want to be clear, I'm not trying to tell them that their life is not good because they're very happy. Sí, ¿qué es eso? Es motosierra, ¿sí? No tocar, es peligroso. Sí, claro que sí. And so they have one light bulb here and we brought them a bunch of solar lights and there's 3 rooms, but you can see it's like dirt floor and there's 3 rooms, and it's very, I don't want to say primitive, that's not the right word. It's just very basic, okay? It's very basic. Sí, correcto. It's just very basic, and so we want to, ¿la refri sirve o no sirve? Sí, claro. And so we want to try and do the best we can. Now, it's not just this family, because the whole entire neighborhood of Playa Mariana and along the road that we drive in on, there's got to be 20 or 30 families that all live under these conditions. Most of them work in the cane fields and in other varieties in and around the town, but there's so much opportunity to help out and do good and just give a little bit more, because the existence of life for most of these families around here, I'll give you an idea. Most people in Nicaragua, basic labor, sí. ¿Qué es? Ah, es su caballo. Ah, ¿cuál es el nombre de su caballo? He's pointing me towards his horse. What I was going to say is most of the people in Nicaragua, the minimum wage is about $220 a month for basic labor. All right, so you can imagine at $220 a month, that's what most people are surviving off. I come here and we give about $250 every 2 weeks, plus a whole bunch of other stuff. That probably adds up to about $350 to $400 every couple of weeks. So, you know, it doesn't seem like it, but they're getting almost 4 times the amount of money as the average family in and around the area. And it's just a start. There's some donations that come in and we pass those along as well. So we hope to improve the situation as best we can. But you know, it's never enough. It's never enough. What we gotta do is get them into a house. We can't help everybody, but we can start with the people that are closest to us. And that is the family here, the Borges, at the security point of the property, who we're eternally grateful, and we're gonna continue to help them as much as we possibly can. Hi, you're still with me. I'm on the land still. It is 10 to 6. What a day. Now the sun is going down. Normally I would be out of here by then, but I'm now driving on the mountainside of Playa Mariana. And looks like we got some traffic here. I got to slow down. And what I'm going to do is, what I don't normally do, is stay till sunset. I'm usually out of here by then, but since you can see the sun right over there is starting to set, I'm going to drive down to the beach and let's, it's going to be dark, but we'll figure it out. Let's go catch a sunset together, okay? Let's see if I can get down there quickly before it actually goes down. So I'm cruising inside Playa Mariana right now on the, let's call it the mountainside of the Costa Highway. Woo! Lots of fun. So we're going straight from the well pump area where I came in through the entrance. It's actually 1.4 total kilometers to the beachfront, to the corner where I was earlier today. To the Costa Highway, it's just short of a kilometer, because we're going to get to the Costa Highway coming up right away. I'm going to go up the ramp, then I'm going to come down the ramp once again, and then we're going to drive down to the beachfront. And the sun is almost setting, so let's make sure there's no traffic. Let's cruise up this ramp. Hang on. Whoa, we're up now on the Costa Highway. Let's go across the road. And oh yeah, the sun is almost going down. We're racing now to get to the beach. And let me see, is the fence open or closed? Okay, hang on a second. I'm not even going to stop the recording. I'm going to move the fence. 1 second, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Okay, let's go. Let's go to the beach. Let's go to the beach. We'll just catch a glimpse of the sun. All right, that's my seatbelt. I better put that on. Okay, so you're inside now the ocean front side of Playa Mariana. We're gonna drive down to the beach and go straight to the beach. To the left is that oceanfront area that we saw earlier. That's where the hotel is. This is the road. Pretend like you're driving to the hotel right now. You just got off the Costa Highway, and now we are going down the road. At the bottom of this road in the future, 7 meters wide, and it looks beautiful. What you're gonna find are the beachfront condominiums and the club down below. And to the left is the Laya Boutique Bungalow Hotel. We'll call it Laya Resort for now. And the model home of our beachfront casita, okay? And that's gonna be, actually beachfront casita. Our beachfront tiny home, that's what that's gonna be. Now, let's see if we can catch a sunset. I'm gonna drive all the way as far as I can to the beach, jump out, and let's see, this is my beach, this is Playa Mariana. Let me rephrase that. This is this is Nicaragua's beach, but it's my property in front of it, because otherwise I'm gonna get some haters. So let's go over here. I'm running because I don't know if I'm gonna miss it or not. Hang on a second. Let's climb up this mountain. They're getting full scale Kevin today. All right, how about that? So yeah, I drove all the way down to the beach. We're back at Playa Mariana. Remember we were here not too long ago? All right, so it's a little cloudy today. It's a little cloudy today. But let's see what a sunset looks like in May. All right, it looks like the tide is actually starting to go out, which is kind of nice. Let's take a look at that. Okay, remember we were here earlier today? I don't know, 2 or 3 hours ago. I'm not sure when. I think it was 3:30. And we're at this exact point. I was showing you how this particular area where the car is, all the way to the White House, that's the entire beach club area. From this particular point right here, this is the corner of our property. From this post is 1.4 kilometers to the well location. And then the edge of our property is 2 kilometers down the way to the Tecolapa River. And that's where the coastal highway crosses over half a kilometer inwards. And behind the beach club that's going to be right here is going to be the beachfront condos. There's 2 of them. There's 2 different models. There's Model 1, which has 8 units, and Model 2, which only has 2 units in the whole thing. There's only 3,000 square feet per unit, 4 bedrooms. And then beyond that White House, I showed you how that's the area where the bungalows are going to be located, our bungalow hotel. There's only 7 to 8 residences. Now, I don't know what kind of sunset we're going to carry today. I don't know what sunset we're going to catch today because it's behind the clouds. So I'll just hang out with you here for now and tell you a little bit about Playa Mariana. So my wife and I, we've had this property. You may have been watching, you may have heard, you may know our story. Since end of 2006, started developing in 2007. The financial crash put a 4-year hold on the development. Started construction, had to stop for a number of reasons, financing mainly, but there were some other serious issues that we had to deal with also. We had to put those into the past, but that took almost 4 years. And then when we were ready to come back into the market in 2016, we were looking to see what kind of market there was. And then in 2018, there was a bit of a demonstration upheaval in the country. That passed, I don't want to say quickly, but that was 2 more years of delay. And then, of course, we all know what happened with COVID, and that was 3 years of delay. And in 2024, I started looking at Nicaragua and the market in Latin America and whether it was time to come back to the development table. In 2025, I made my return to Nicaragua, and it was definitely an opportunity. In what I saw, having been away for a number of years, it got me so excited that I've gone full throttle into development. And that's why I'm sharing with you everything behind the scenes of what it takes to develop 923 acres. Sharing with you some of the stories, of the good stories, bad stories. Let me zoom in here with my phone. I'm now 4x. And you can kind of catch a glimpse of the sun going down, right? You see it peeking through the clouds. This is the sunset at Playa Mariana, southwest. We are 8 kilometers south of Masachapa along the beachfront, about 6.5 driving to where the coastal highway starts or ends, depending upon where you come from. And the major advantage of Playa Mariana definitely is the location. Obviously the beach is amazing, right? Like this beach is absolutely fantastic. There's no rocks, there's no coral, there's no algae. You can swim in here, the waves are soft. There's barely any undercurrent. Of course, there's always going to be some undercurrent. You need to take your precautions when you go into the ocean, always. Always. I'm scared of the water. I don't surf. If water goes to my shoulders, that's too far. Now, what's important to understand is, I've been mentioning it earlier in the videos, that here at Playa Mariana, we are surrounded by 8 different surrounding communities, whether it be San Rafael del Sur, Managua, Pochimil, Masachapa, Caceres, Huete, Boquete, all within 20 kilometers. You have a huge amount of services available to you, except for Managua. It's a little bit further. Managua from Playa Mariana is 77 kilometers proper to the edge of Managua. So that's something you want to take into consideration. But on top of that, with the coastal highway coming to completion very soon, you can make it all the way down to San Rafael del Sur in about 1 hour and 15 minutes, depending upon the curves and the speed and the traffic. But it's less than 100 kilometers in distance. And you can travel at 80 kilometers an hour. So, you know, it's 1 hour and a bit, and you'll find your way to Playa Mariana, which puts us in a very unique situation where it's only 1 hour to Managua and 1 hour to San Rafael del Sur, let's call it, and we're right in the middle, which means we're going to attract a lot of people from different coasts and from different projects to come see what it is that Playa Mariana has to offer. And because there's going to be a public area beach where you can pay to get into, you'll be able to come to this particular beachfront. There'll be a number of rentals here, whether it be Sea-Doos, quads, horses. The entire 923 acres is your oasis. It's your playground. So while we're developing the first 4 to 5 acres out of the first 125 acres, out of the total 923, it's amazing. This is just so much fun for the rest of my life and hopefully the lives of my kids as well. So there goes the sun. Man, let's see if I can 8x in there. You ready? Let's zoom right into it. There's 8x for you. So the sun is almost down here at Playa Mariana. This is what you can look forward to each and every single day. Now my kids tell me that when the sun goes down, just for a second, there's a green flash. Has anybody ever heard of that? I've never heard of a green flash at sunset, but maybe you have, but let's watch for it. Maybe we'll see it. So we sell here, yes, we have hospitality that's coming to the project very, very soon, but we also sell residences, part of the hotel's investment, and share in the cash flow and the revenue from the hotel, and or you can own outright beachfront titled land with title insurance under the property horizontal regime. And while it's protected, you also own it in your own name. That's what freehold means here in Nicaragua. It's not concession, it's not lease, it's not agrarian, all right? It's not communal, it's freehold title, the best title that you can own in the country of Nicaragua. And on top of that, we have beachfront condominium residences. On the master plan, you're gonna find tiny homes, townhouses, okay, little Granada del Pacifico coming soon. And it's just gonna be an amazing opportunity. So that's the sunset. So I am going to pull away and get out of here before it gets too dark. Here's the ocean one more last time, okay? There's my car parking up ahead. Imagine reception, beach club, condos, beautiful ocean playground for you to enjoy. The water is warm, friendly. Come to Nicaragua and experience everything that this country has to offer. You're with me now on the coastal highway leaving Playa Mariana. I've got about 5 kilometers to go to Masachapa, where I get to the roundabout and then turn right, and I'm gonna go up the mountain to the El Crucero, stop at the Super 7 for an espresso, and then it'll be another hour from there to get back to Granada. And so what I should do is do this. You're with me now on the coastal highway at night. It's just past 6 o'clock. The sun just went down. I'm down 2 or 3 kilometers from Playa Mariana along the coastal highway, and it's going to be dark, so I need to be somewhat careful. We're going to be going straight to where there's a rotunda. If I go right, that would take me back to Playa Mariana on the back road where the well entrance was. That's the road. When I go 3/4 around the rotunda, that'll take me to Pochimil, where you've seen that tourist area district. And our goal is to go in the second entrance through it, okay? And from there, it's only 2 kilometers, a straight shot out of Masachapa, and then on to the Super 7. So you might as well, providing that you can see okay, just hang out with me while we go down the road. Now, how was the day today? You've been watching this video. I'm not sure if you watched a clip of it. You've been watching the whole thing. I'm not sure when you're watching this, but what do you believe is the best thing about Playa Mariana that you've seen today? Is it the location? Only 5 minutes from Masachapa and Pochimil? Is it, I know I gotta be careful here because I came this way and I think there was a part of the dirt road that I had to take, but it looks like it's open. So we're gonna drive straight. I think I actually came up that dirt road over there. It was blocked off, so we're just gonna keep going. So do you like the location of Playa Mariana? You understand that being only 5 minutes from Masachapa and Pochimil, and 10 minutes to 12 minutes to San Rafael del Sur, an hour to Managua, or an hour to San Juan del Sur, or another 20 minutes down the coastal highway to Juguete, Casares, and Boquita. It's an amazing location. Or perhaps you're more the logical type and you see the value in owning freehold titled land along the beach in your own name without a trust or without in the name of a local. or it's not concession land or leased land or agrarian land or communal titles? Or is it title insurance on the property carried by First American Title Insurance Company or Stewart Title Guarantee? Maybe it's the fact that we own 4 wells of water on our property drilled, delivering 850 gallons of water per minute, and one is delivering water right now, and their pump house and the well and the water is ready to deliver services to over 70 lots and development parcels. That's pretty exciting to me. Is it the topography, identifying lots on the land? Is it just pure beach and the fact that you can move up and down the coast 10 or 12 kilometers each way on a non-stop walk or a horse ride or a quad or a bike at low tide? You're definitely not going to ride a bike in the soft sand at high tide. So here's that rotunda. Okay, I was talking about, I can somewhat see. I don't believe there's ever going to be lights here, so this is a good example of the darkness of the road, but that's not really untypical of highways wherever you are outside of the main cities. There's never lights on the highway for the most part. So you just need to be careful. So I would say during the daytime, you're likely going to be traveling 70 to 80 kilometers an hour. In the evening, for sure, you're probably not going to be going the same speed in the dark roads, or maybe you will, I don't know. I'm traveling 70 kilometers an hour right now, and this feels fast enough for me. Actually, I can probably travel maybe even 60 kilometers an hour and be a relaxed pace, but since I know this road already and it's fairly straight, as you've seen, we left Playa Mariana, it was just a straight shot, and we got to the rotunda. There's a slight bend in the road over here. We're going to get a little bit further across a bridge. What's going on over here? Let's check it out. It says desvio this way. Okay, so let's go this way. Desvio means shortcut. I'm pretty sure it means shortcut or detour. This is where they were doing a little bit of construction earlier on. So I will go slow. I will go slow and see what's happening, because I might have to cross over to the other side of the road. Maybe I'm on the wrong side of the road. Let's go over here. Let's go over here. So they've been working on this coastal highway at night now for quite a long time. For at least 2.5 months, they changed the schedule. They were during the day, but now they're going completely strong. That's Mako. They're a construction company from Costa Rica who are doing the roads here in Nicaragua on the coastal highway. So it looks like I'm going to cross over to the other side again. This is the fun part about Nicaragua, so let's keep going straight. Again, this road is, you could say it's open or half open. We just have to take it slow here. But you're driving with me right now, seeing the construction at night, where we're driving, and this part of the road is actually paved. I don't know whether you can tell or not, but it's smooth, and we're getting close to the end of the road where we're going to get to Masachapa. So he wants me to stop or go slow. I can't really tell. I think go slow. Let's see. Follow me. Lots of people working here at night. I think I'm clear. All right, here we go. Isn't this fun doing these recordings live? You never know what's going to happen. And it looks like, see, they're paving at night. They're working. They are working. Okay, great. All right, that wasn't so bad, right? Okay, so right now we are just not even a couple kilometers, I don't think. We're going to get to the end of the road. We're going to get to the rotunda. I'm going to turn right. And then I am going to sign off and just take it easy and drive up the mountain. And I'll come back to you. I will come back to you in the El Crucero. So when you're looking for more information on how to buy real estate overseas, avoid the common mistakes that people make, you want to hear it directly from a real estate developer who's been on the ground through various market cycles and challenges, you might say, but come through it, because we never give up. I can tell you, in Nicaragua, there's always something going on, but not just Nicaragua. It could be Costa Rica, it could be Belize, it could be Honduras. It doesn't really matter. There's always something going on in development with challenges. You just work through them. And that's what we've been doing in Nicaragua for quite a while. Now, they haven't put lines on the road, so it's kind of hard to see where I am. I might just be driving in the middle of the road. Isn't that hilarious? Okay, I see the lines now. I'm on the right side of the road. I see lights ahead of me. That is going to be Masachapa. I am flying. I probably should go a little slower in a construction zone. Here we go. We made it. This is the end of the coastal highway. You're now in Masachapa. Should I turn left, it'll take you right into the town. And there's restaurants and amenities, fruit stands, pharmacies, whatever you're looking for. Now, I know the road here splits into a Y, left and right. You just got to be careful here because it's not well lit. You want to drive into like a meridian. You see it right there? Right there. You don't want to hit that. You're going too fast, you might just run over that. So that's the advantage of knowing where you're going. But you're watching this video, so you're going to be well prepared when you come to Nicaragua, and you might have to drive in the dark. So we made it. We're back into Masachapa. That's the end of the coastal highway, everybody. Now I'm just going to focus on the road, and I'll see you in the El Crucero for a cup of coffee. Back at one of my favorite places, a Super 7 in El Crucero. This is the halfway point for me, at least tonight, between Granada and Playa Mariana. And now we're going back the other way from Playa Mariana all the way back to Granada. We made it through San Rafael del Sur and up through the Crucero, through the mountain pass. And it's busy up here at night. It's actually my first time coming here at night. Normally it's 7:10 right now, just to give you a sense of darkness. And this is where you'd fill up for gas, obviously, because there's not many more stations after this one. And there is another station from here all the way down till basically the end of San Rafael del Sur, more or less. So I'm gonna go inside, I'm gonna relax, get myself an espresso, drink that, then probably get another one to go for the ride home. It's pretty quiet outside. It's really not that much traffic, so it should be a pretty easy going for the rest of the way. You might as well follow me all the way to the end of today. What a day visiting Playa Mariana. Probably 30 videos and stories of every single piece of the property, except for maybe the backside across the river and walking from the public road in the back down to the river. But I believe we got just about all the important areas, from the entrances to the bridge, the coastal highway, the ocean view, the beachfront, the lots, the clearing, the main access, the public way, the security house, right? Then we walked through and drove through El Crucero, from starting in Granada through San Marcos, and then we passed through Masatepe, or I'm actually Masatepe first, then San Marcos, then the El Crucero, San Rafael del Sur, down Masachapa, onto Playa Mariana, and the reverse coming back. What a day. And I'm back now in Granada, and we normally park our car at the fire station here in Granada. It doubles as a parking lot throughout the day and the evening, and when you want to come park your car in Granada, it's a great place to drop it off. I probably pay a little bit too much, but I don't mind. They look after it pretty well. It's about 200 Cordobas for the night. When you park long term for a week or 2 weeks or a month, you can probably get a better price, probably half price. But I drop in and give them 200 Cordobas, and usually all the leftover waters that I have. And right now there's not too much, just one bottle of water and 4 chickies. I gave everything away. I made it back to Granada. I'm standing in the middle of the road on this one-way street, so I know nothing's gonna hit me from behind. But this is where I was about 12 hours or so ago, where I started here in Granada. And it's good to be back home. This is the end of the day, the end of the 13 or so hour tour. I don't know, 30, 50 videos, 4 hours of content. It's been great, hasn't it? You've been following me every single day. Now you know why I'm so excited about becoming a developer in Nicaragua. 20 years. This is the country that has welcomed me, and I love it so much. And I'll continue to promote Nicaragua and bring people into the country to show them all the great sites, whether it's Playa Mariana or somewhere else that is appealing to what it is of the taste of the person that wants to travel, see the world, invest in real estate, and generally come and experience something real. Nicaragua is definitely going to be a place where you can unplug, and for sure you're going to call it your new favorite place.